prefers it genuinely. Like, spent some time in the jungle in the off season, or started playing it in some scrims and enjoyed it a bit more. Great, hello everybody. We are finally here.
Oh man. All right. Yeah, so without further ado, welcome to Titan coverage of the Divinity division, covering Group C between Foolish 5 Vanguard and Jolly Roger Swashbucklers. You just saw us rambling for a little bit of audio issues on our side, but we're finally here. I'm Chong Selmo. I'm joined by Beto. It is our first coverage here on Titan Esports. I know Beto's part of the official crew. I'm just being part of a sub 80 unit for tonight, but happy to be here.
Hmm. Yeah, well, I guess we'll quickly touch on what we spoke about in a TLDR fashion, talking about some role swaps between Foolish. Um, these teams, very versed orgs across amateur and into pro League of Legends in America. Both of the teams got a 2-0 in the first week. But Sean, we're here into our draft for our game one. So, not waiting much more. We are on 25-11. We were talking about on the behind the scenes, but a bit before, some of those changes potentially coming through to impact the games in this division. But I think that some of the champions that were buffed a bit harder to play. So I imagine we won't see too many crazy stuff. The Vibe Man coming through first, which surprises me. Not that Vi's being banned, but that teams are prioritizing it, because I think Vi is really strong. It's being banned all the time in every region, but Amateur League of Legends doesn't value it too high.
Yeah, I'm like you said, I'm kind of surprised about the vibe band too. I mean, it's normally like first pick in like the higher divisions and professional play. So like I'm surprised that Foolish isn't looking to get that as their first pick. Maybe they want a counter jungle matchup, and Jinx ban always makes sense in this meta. You kind of ban Jinx, otherwise it's gonna be B1, especially in like Emerald and lower. So not surprised to see that Jolly Roger's going for this one. But a Renekton first pick is something I was not expecting.
Yeah, a lot of these bans as well. Like, I'm a huge fan of so many of these picks. I love Alistar. I think Jarvan's good too. I love Renata. And it's really surprising to me that these are getting banned away, because I think they're good, but they're not things that teams are prioritizing most of the time. Renekton, a lot of pressure in that top lane to play through the mid, or the early to the mid game. Got a bit of a counter in that department, having that ranged aspect. But Renekton, with the healing and the Dominus level 6 timer, I imagine that Renekton still has an all-in angle there. Poppy early for Jolly Rogers. Xin Zhao. Jarvan is the banned one. Xin Zhao alongside, I would imagine, a mid, but I feel like Poppy's getting pretty good value here regardless of what you pick. Xin Zhao, I mean, this is a great draft from Fools 5, like a great mid 2v2, some great early skirmishing, decent late game so far. I'm loving what Fools 5 are going.
I mean, yeah, this top half of the map for Fools 5 is going to be just super aggressive, levels 1 through 6, with the skirmishing power they have between the Xin Zhao Ahri combo and also the Xin Zhao Renekton. I mean, the Poppy pick is also just really good for Jolly Rogers into what has already been picked for Foolish, into Renekton, Xin Zhao, and even Ahri. You can block those dashes. And also, it being a flexible, it could go to the support role for Detached. It could stay for CCAT. And Aurelion Soul Ban, after the Anivia was already picked for Noodle Daddy, is definitely definitely interesting. But regardless of that, we're getting also top lane bans. So
I would imagine
I think
that Fools 5 are convinced it's Anivia top, maybe, or Anivia support. I don't know where the Urgot would be going, but I'm surprised by the Riven Mordekaiser bans. Guys, guaranteed Renekton is going top. I don't know where the Mordekaiser Riven bans are going to. Caitlyn being picked up for Jolly Rogers. Some more early pressure for them in the bot side. Pretty hard to beat that out, unless you're playing something like a kill lane. But it's going to be Ashe. Could be Braum here to pair with the Ashe, which rounds this draft out really nicely. A good amount of heal really does work against the Poppy Urgot. And pretty decently against the Caitlyn too. Have to see what they can go. It is going to be the Braum locked in here to round this out. So a really strong 2v2 in the bot, regardless of what Jolly Rogers pick up here. Could be something like the Lux, but I think that Braum does really well into that. I love Fools 5 draft here. I think they've took Caitlyn Karma.
Yeah.
I mean, A lot of poke.
Yeah, I mean, the side of Jolly Rogers, they got Reckoning on his best champion. This Caitlyn is his highest mastery, so I assume they know how to play around this if they're getting it. Caitlyn is one of those ADCs that kind of hyper warps the map where you have to play the Caitlyn style. You want to be taking that bot lane turret by 12 minutes, and then you put her in mid or top lane and take even more of those turret plates down. But, I mean, the Foolish comp is just... You'd be seeing this up in professional play, this whole entire draft, the way they've made everything work. Like, Ashe Braum, super strong bottom lane, especially with Ashe getting those ever so slightly buffed, so he can now stack that Q onto turret auto attacks instead of just having to auto minions. But I mean, Jolly Rogers has a lot of poke, has a lot of zone control, so if they can play out their comp and get set up on these objectives and try to get fights started the way they want to, with Anivia slowing everything down with the wall and then getting the Poppy engage with a big Urgot Fear Beyond Death over top of it, the team fight could be really hard for Foolish, but they have such strong skirmish power where they kind of want to separate these 5v5s into like segmented like 2v2s and 3v2s and stuff like that. So the fights around neutral objectives, yeah, the fights around neutral objectives are going to be very interesting in this game. But I'm curious where you're thinking, like, which team do you think has the advantage here in this game number one, Beta?
DC'd there halfway through the conversation. I still heard it, but I don't know if you saw my camera cut out completely.
I did.
It was a bit scary. I love Fool's 5 draft. I think that they have so many options towards how they're going to fight. The Jinja Ari skirmish, I think that the Ashe Braum in the bot lane provides so much pressure. I think that the Renekton can provide pressure through the early game, and even if it's a hard matchup against the Urgot, I think that later on, I just prefer the Renekton. Hello, shop. What are your thoughts on the map skin?
I mean, I'm kind of upset because it's not Boris in the shop anymore, so you can't be losing to Boris. You just gotta lose to knock off Lulu when you buy the wrong items in this day and age. But I mean, I do like the overall look of it, but we're getting a little bit of poke here onto Foolish. He is tagged up by those concussive blows and immediately has to flash away. That is the power of Ashe Braum level 1. If you get tagged by one of those abilities, you are going to have to flash away. And now we see an audacious charge here out of CCAT. Just a little bit of poke there onto Lord JK. Get an award on the Raptors early, but I mean, I like the visual update of the map. I think I like the Ionian version more than I like the Noxus one.
Yeah, I think some of the turrets in the Noxus one were cool, but after a while, you know, that red gets a bit old. But I think it's cool that, you know, the Riot's having a bit of fun with the map. It is cool to see. Maybe we'll see a Christmas skin or a Halloween map skin. That'd be kind of cool. I don't know if that would be lore accurate, but I think that would be dope. Ashe Braum level 1, you're absolutely right. Just very, very strong. I'm pretty sure one of the strongest level 1 bot lanes that you can possibly play without finding some like Hail of Blades Pike, Hail of Blades Callista Ignite. Like, it's just one of the strongest like team fighting level 1 bot lanes that you can have. Caitlyn Karma has great pushing power and good poke, but in a straight up all in, Ashe Braum wins pretty much every matchup that there is. Finding that Poppy flash early, I mean, it's not going to cost too much. It is going to make sure that all the lanes are a lot safer. But yeah, this draft from Fool's 5 is, it's very strong. It's very great too, and it does feel like something that you could see in a pro league, which could just be like some studying. Okay, guys, what are we going to play?
Yeah, but like you were saying, Beto, this is my official petition to Riot Games to bring back the Christmas Summoners Rift. I remember playing on that back when that was a thing back in the day. But I mean, we're seeing like this Caitlyn lane. Yes, they do have the push here in the bottom lane, but they're not getting a super large CS advantage that you would want out of this type of power. And then also an interesting thing is that Lord JK on this Anivia didn't go for a Dorn start, went for a tier, so trying to get that Sarah stacked up super early in this lane. I mean, Anivia does run into mana problems in the early game, so you kind of do need that bonus mana from tier, but you also just lose out on the potential like trading patterns with the bonus AP that you get from this Doran's ring. It's just both mid laners going to get a few wards, so just kind of farming up around the entire rift. No real advantages being created so far in this game, but definitely could see it start to turn one way or another depending on how these lanes continue to push out here.
This top lane, Chunga, looks a bit even right now in terms of pushing power. I mean, Renekton Ooh,
All right, so
fifth.
now Fife got a little bit of chip damage onto. I mean, these top laners are both super low. I can see either jungler if they were in the top lane area, they're going in. But now Fifth is going in on to Ludacris here. Ludacris does get the stun, tries to slice and dice his way out of there, gets tagged up, flash forward
Ooh.
by Fifth, and gets the last auto attack. The PTA coming in clutch up there in that top lane for that exchange. A burn of flashes by both top laners, but Fifth coming out ahead on that one.
A good flash trade there in favor of fifth, but I mean, as Ludacris, it's unfortunate that you flash forward, still die. Has the TP to get back to lane, but a good first blood from this Urgot. Can we break the Nivea passive yet? Unfortunately, no, we can't. But oh, does break the Nivea passive. That's one auto before.
Yeah,
Noodle dies there.
that's actually huge to get out in the early game, just because it is on that 5-minute timer. Just because, you know, everybody makes the jokes at like all these new champions being like, all these like new champions being like 200 years, like everything they make the memes about, and then Anivia just like with that passive is just like, come on, Riot, give it a little bit of update. I mean, yes, it is that false life. For now, Fifth is just getting a lot of trade damage up here in the top lane onto Ludacris, but Ludacris is trying to trade back effectively using that Ruthless Predator, but he's still taking a lot of damage. He might fall down here, and Fifth gets another kill up in the top lane with the assist of the Purge to be able to get all those sweet spot hits and get that bonus damage out. Fifth starting to run away with this matchup up here. Down a little bit of CS, but 2 kills is going to help you a lot.
Yeah, and that's one of the things I was talking about. Renekton, quite a strong early game into the mid game top lane champion, but this Urgot with the range, the gap close onto the Renekton, and you know, before
a flash forward there by Noodle Daddy and gets the kill thanks to the Orb of Deception tagging up Lord JK. Lord JK also does use flash, and that's the issue. If you lose that egg form super early in this lane, it can be a rough time for the Anivia, and we just saw Noodle Daddy showing up on that one and getting the solo bolo there in the mid lane to help his team out a little bit.
Yeah, and as well, with passive down and now flash down, benefits Ari so much more considering, you know, the ult from Ari, right? So Anivia comes back to lane, and Jinzhao, I mean, that's a prime target for a gank right there. This Anivia cannot get away. The wall doesn't really do anything for Jinzhao or for Ari. They have great gap close already. So this Anivia is kind of a sitting duck. Get it? Because she's a bird. In this next fight, whatever it will be, whether it's going to be a dragon fight or whether it's just going to be a lane gank from this Jinzhao, which I think is the target. I mean, yeah, the Urgot being up 2 kills, it's impactful, sure, but Renekton doesn't really mind that bad because he's still going to have an advantage over the Caitlyn, grouping around this dragon, started up by Jolly Rogers.
Yeah, we could have a team fight coming out here. Seacat taking a lot of damage. Tries to audacious charge forward, but a stop, but gets the smite steal away, and now they're turning their focus on the Seacat. A jump forward there out of detach on this Braum, and they're turning their attention on the Foolish. Gets tagged up on the concussive blows and goes down to the wind, becomes laning from Seacat, and now the rest of the team is pushing forward. Down goes Lord JK on this Anivia again, and now Concrete has to flash away, but gonna get tagged up again by this Braum passive and end up falling to detached himself, and that is a turnaround teamfight win out of Jolly Rogers with the smite steal and then everything to proceed that action.
I mean, you can really see the potential for the Ashe Braum in these skirmishes in the early game. I mean, even towards the late game, it's still the same when Urgot comes in, but it's just unbeatable right now. Caitlyn has cleanse, does cleanse the stun. It doesn't matter. Both Caitlyn and Karma use all summoners. They flash. Poppy flashes away as well. It's still not enough. The Ashe Braum combo with the Jinzhao is too much CC. The charm from the Ahri as well. You just cannot get away. This combo is so strong. And Dragon, stolen away for Fool's 5 is a big deal there. Like I said, finding the passive and flash burn onto the Anivia means that she falls easily. But a pretty solid lead now being built up for Fool's 5.
Yeah, and I mean, I think we're getting a little bit confused over here because I think our overlay is actually backwards. It's Jolly Rogers on the blue side. Yeah, and Fool's 5 on the red side. So that team fight was won by Jolly Rogers, and now they're looking for a lot of damage up onto 5th at the top lane. He's not able to get out the CC combo with a 3 Talon Strike and the Ruthless Predator, able to keep that Urgot down and get another big kill onto Seacat on this Xin Zhao. Jolly Rogers with a superior draft, playing it out even better in this game number 1 here.
Is Seacat a reference to Watercat? Is it the same player? Maybe I would imagine. Maybe not. But
Nah, Watercat is Emerald pushing
yeah,
Diamond.
I thought he was higher ranked. Yeah, but maybe he's a reference. That's kind of funny. But man, Jolly
There's been so
Rogers.
many Watercat knockoffs lately. There's
Really?
like we got Watercat, we got Seacat. There's just water, like there's just so many people taking that.
Oh,
But
team, the Watercats.
I mean, this early game outside of Jolly Rogers, we were hyping up the draft, saying it was Fools 5, but it's actually Jolly Rogers that ended up getting the superior draft, and they're just playing it out so well so far in this early game. We saw that fight around the dragon, able to get the smite steal from Seacat, and then just able to turn it around. The use of the Crescent Guard to stop so much damage, and then detached on this Braum just tanks up so much damage in this early game with that Unbreakable. It's really hard to break it. It's like it makes a lot of sense for the ability name, but I mean, Jolly Rogers looking really good in this early game. They had a little bit of issues in the top lane with Fifth getting 2 solo kills, but Seacat able to bail his top laner out, and they're starting to look pretty here in this first game. I mean, we're just gonna wait and to see if grubs are gonna be taken, as Flo is just looking for a gank in the bot lane.
Spotted super early though. An easy jump out from Braum. Grubs have spawned on the top lane. Pings are coming out there, but considering that Seacat is in the bot side, I would imagine that grubs aren't going to be taken just yet. This is something that I've been talking about quite a lot in the lower divisions that I've been casting. I really think, and I think this game is just a brilliant example of it, where I truly think in draft, just simple is better. It's simple is just plainly better. You should be playing things that are tried and true, that are great synergy between picks. So Ash, Braum, Ginger, Ari, Renekton in the top lane to pair with the Braum.
Oh, they're going in on the bot lane. Detach using the Glacial Fissure, and it's not going to get tagged up. But Reckoning with no mana, and Seacat not in the immediate area, not able to turn that kill. And Enchanted Crystal Arrow was also used down there in the bot lane, as they're getting an early setup on this Dragon number 2. But another big thing, like you're saying, yes, simple drafts are a lot better, and we can see that out of Jolly Rogers here in this game number 1. Like, you might not have the super easy press R wombo combo team fight, but you have the correct pick tools to make it work, and they are showing that off while Foolish takes away these grubs. And that's another thing with these grub spawn timing changes with the dragon as well. You can't effectively trade dragon number 1 for these grubs anymore, as Fabian Death comes out there out of 5th, and so it does the ultimate from Ludicrous, and they're changing back the Purge, getting a lot of damage now. 5th flashing away, and is going to get solo killed by Ludicrous in the Dominus. A nice exchange there in the top lane out of Ludicrous, using the abilities at the right time, getting a lot of healing out of that Cold the Meek, and is able to turn that play in his favor.
Just like I said, the Dominus allows Renekton to win most 1v1s. One of his strongest aspects is the ability to 1v1 all of the top lane champions. I mean, down 2 deaths for Ludicrous right now. It's a bit insane that Renekton can do that, but like, I'm still looking at that and thinking, why don't more people play this champion in these lower divisions? Because I see all the time, like, people trying to cook super hard with, like, the most difficult top lane champions possible. It's always, like, you know, Mordekaiser, or not that Mordekaiser is hard, but in team fights it is. It's a lot harder. You know, you ult someone, they don't die. Now what? You know, or just things that don't really work super well with comps, or it's a matchup specific. You know, like Garen. Not a huge Garen fan, but I'm looking at Renekton. Like, this champion has a ton of sustain. It has great chase. It has like slows. It has a great stun set up for any like carry, be that the mage or the actual AD carry. It's got
Actually,
great work.
Ludicrous could be in trouble here, but a nice Call the Meek gets him out of the danger. But like you said, yeah, continue your point, Beto.
Like, you know, just with Braum. I mean, the synergy with Braum is great. If you play something like Sejuani, the synergy there is like amazing, right? If you have the enhanced W, getting the stun off as quick as possible. Detach, looking for a roam into mid here. Dragon was secured by Jolly Rogers. It is going to be Ocean Soul, which for this like brawly style comp that they've got is quite strong, right? You got the Renekton to brawl. You've got the Jin Zhao, the Braum,
Oh no,
Charm
Lord
onto
JK is in a lot of trouble there. Audacious Charge when comes lightning, flash forward out of Seacat and the immediate stun from Foolish, but the egg form is going to be popped by Noodle Daddy. Still there's one more use of that Spirit Rush to be able to escape from that one. A nice keeper's verdict there out of Foolish to keep his Agnivia alive in that play, but that passive being burned again and flash as well is going to be big for these mid lane ganks and plays once again like we saw previously when Noodle did get that solo kill.
Yeah, I mean, it feels kind of like a win in a situation where there weren't many, right? I mean, yeah, Anivia lives, sure, you don't give over the gold, but really that's all on Foolish. Right now, it's like trying to...
Yeah, Dominus is
make
going to be
it
popped
happen
here
top lane.
by Ludacris, and he's just going to get the solo kill on the 5th.
Wow.
Foolish not able to bail out his top laner, and that's a completed item to just play the steel caps, as now Seacat is looking to go in on the Foolish there, uses the stun in the wall to create the distance, but this Renekton, with no fully completed item to the Black Cleaver, just the plated steel caps, you can see how strong that is in this 1v1 matchup, and the Dominus just giving him those increased stats, helping out so much. And now with the Eclipse, it's just going to be even easier for this Renekton to slice apart this Urgot in the top lane.
It's just like Conqueror, Renekton, like Dominus. It's a lot of 1v1 potential. I think if you're 5th, you know, you got to find some better timings to have Foolish rotate over. You're going to be a bit more patient. I feel like maybe he's getting a bit aggressive there, considering Foolish is pathing towards the top lane, so he's feeling confident, ready to take the 1v1, but unfortunately the damage from Renekton, just too much. It's like the Herald spawning just now, 15 minutes into the game, 7-2. Pretty decent goal lead around right on the 2K mark.
Oh, and Chance Crystal Arrow hits onto Concrete, and he is stunned up and now getting tagged up by these concussive blows, flashes away, but it does not matter. Audacious Charge is used there to get in, and nice use of the ultimate Glacial Fissure out of the Tatch to be able to pick up that kill onto Concrete, going on to Reckoning, and that is a quick pick off on the support. Flash being used there by this Karma and is not able to escape with their life.
I mean, this draft is just so good for Jolly Rogers. Like, you just can't do anything when you're playing against this. The CC is so long. The damage is great. There's great base damage from Jin Zhao. Ari looking for an all-in right now. Not taking the best end of this trade so far.
I mean, it's turned around now thanks to that Spirit Rush, but could still be in a little bit of trouble. There goes the ace in the hole out of Atreides, but no real damage. Flash forward hits the charm, and is going to get the solo kill on to Lord JK, but is not going to be able to escape with their life. The charge used there, and a charm as well to try to escape, but Atreides picks up the shutdown with the Pilt-over Pacemaker. Noodle with some fancy plays to be able to get a kill in that play, and sadly, he does go down. It goes over to the Caitlyn, not the ideal spot, but hey, you'll take the solo kill when you know the enemy team is coming on you quickly.
I mean, getting the Herald, it's still a win for Jolly Rogers despite giving over the shutdown. The E-Flash Charm onto Anivia over the Anivia stun is beautiful from Noodle Daddy. That was a beautiful play to see. Very nice micro decisions there to win out on that 1v1. It didn't look that great. I mean, Ari in a wave isn't that strong when you can't get the auto to get the W to proc on Anivia completely. So missed out on quite a lot of the damage there. But Dragon spawning now. This is the 3rd Dragon for Jolly Rogers if they're able to pick it up, which will put them on Soul Point. Fools 5 significantly behind in that department. They're going to need a lot of time to build up their dragons to get towards Soul. But if they...
Enchantress Slayer is tagged up on him. He uses the cleanse, but it does not matter because he's knocked up. Audacious Charge forward there out of Seacat, and they're trying to get the kill onto Atreides. A nice Keeper's Verdict injects too, but Noodle Daddy is here. Charmed up is Lord JK again on the Anivia, and he is going to end up falling down to Noodle Daddy in the backside of this team fight. A double kill for this Ari. It does not matter that you eject too, because the fed Ari is still on the prowl, and that is going to be Soul Point acquired here for the side of Jolly Rogers Swashbucklers. And like you said, the CC, once it lands, there is no escaping, and that's why I do not like this build out of Concrete. You need to go Mikhail's first item in this game, not the Moonstone Renewer.
Yeah, I mean, Atreides trying really hard to make anything work here. Unfortunately, even with the cleanse, again, cleanse flash can't get away fast enough. Keeper's Verdict knocks away 2, right? Knocks away the Ashe and the Jin Zhao, but just Ari on her own with the blocking from Braum is enough to take down members of Fools 5 here. have a
Yeah,
look
and we're
back
gonna
at
see
this
the
replay.
replay here. They see a Atreides. The Chance Crystal Arrow hits. He uses Cleanse immediately. Knocked up by the Glacial Fissure. Tries to create as much space as possible, but it does not matter because even Detached flashes
Look at this
forward there
Braum.
to help. And this Braum, just like he just does so much in these fights, just creating so much space, and you can't really fight through him. He'll just stack that passive onto everybody, and then everybody will get stunned up on the backside of it. And it does work well with Ari because she is this like spell weaver. She doesn't really like use all her spells for like big bursts. Like she'll use it for the burst and then needs to auto after. And now we're seeing a play in the top lane. Both these top laners are super low, but Ludacris could go back to the lane and farm up. He could still look for fifth here on this. He knows he's in the bush. He's going forward and slice and dice use of the Ruthless Predator to get the solo kill. An enchanted crystal arrow flies through top lane, but it does not matter. Another solo kill for this toy Nectin.
Just a bit of a aura ult there, just to show off that he could have landed it if he wanted to, and the fifth was double dead there. Getting that top tower is also going to be a massive gold injection into this Renekton. But something that I was going to bring up before that fight around Dragon about this Soul Point now is, if Fools 5 were able to take that Drake, you've got 10 minutes before Jolly Rogers can get their soul realistically, right? Now you've only got 5, and at this point you've only got 3 minutes. Foolish.
They're looking for a play. They're on to Reckoning, but I think he's going to end up falling down here to the backside. Atreides getting a lot of damage, but the Locket shield coming through. Ace and Hold doesn't matter. And now that Seacat is here, more space. Concrete is tagged up. A nice use of the Keeper's Verdict ejects too. Now Ace of the Hole comes through because it was canceled before and shut down onto Renekton. But now Ludacris is TP'd into this play, looking for a little bit of a scrap. But with fifth here, I don't think that the side of Jolly Rogers wants to be taking this one. A nice pick on to the enemy AD carry. It pays off. Nobody falls down on your side thanks to Foolish on this Poppy with that use of the ultimate, and then Ace of the Hole comes out. The target is true, and it was Reckoning's life.
It's funny because Reckoning would have actually lived if he had been hit by Keeper's Verdict there, because he would have been taken away. Braum could have blocked the Ace in the Hole there, but a really good pick off from Fools 5 there. It's, they need a lot more. It's not enough to really bring them back into the game in a significant manner, but it's a good start. Getting gold onto this Caitlyn, like more gold onto this Caitlyn, is an important part of this game, but, is it enough at all to, sway the next fight? I don't know if it is. I'm going to continue my point from before. If Fools 5 were given more time to scale, have a look at this Anivia build right now. Still, at this point, not finished Roa. Very close, one more stack. Finish the tier stacks, but only one item. Like, this Anivia needs so much time before she's going to do anything compared to this Ari, who has Malignant, that has Grip Bloom there, and the 6 stacks on Darkseal. This Ari, just based on how much gold diff she has, is just going to do more. Like, it's just plain and simple. And for Fools 5 to come back then, I mean, yeah, this Anivia is going to get a level up, a level down right now, but a level up when she finishes this Roa, which is a good thing. But still, you need more time to fight these dragons, which you don't have because you've got 1 minute now until Soul. And with this comp, I mean, we've been seeing the fights, right? They're long, they're brawly, they're scrappy, but in a good way. Jolly Rogers likes the scrappy fights where Braum can kind of take over, where Renekton can really create chaos across the team. Ocean Soul does so much work there. It just means that any damage that you do, Foolish.
Reckoning is going to be the focus again. Flash in by Foolish, so they're looking to go for it. But a nice Glacial Fissure gets all 3, and now they're turning their focus on to Atreides. He uses the Flash Cleanse again. Keeper's Verdict is popped out there, and now Seacat popping the ultimate to create the space and block the damage. Noodlecat also uses the Spirit Rush trying to get in there. Detach has made his way back. Ludacris isn't even in this fight yet, but it's going to be nobody falling down. A whole lot of Summoner Spells, a whole lot of ultimates, and the Dragon spawning in 25 seconds. But Foolish is on a lot of vision, and so is Concrete. Ludacris goes in, flash away by Concrete, and he's going to get tagged up by the Karma Ian. Now they're trying to turn their focus down. Noodle Daddy actually taking a lot, is stuck in the ultimate of Anivia. Ace of the Hole comes out, but is blocked by Ludacris, and they're able to escape, keeping their Ari alive as well. But there are no TPs, and the HP bars are slightly in favor of Foolish right now as they're all starting to walk their way towards the Dragon, where JK is going to cut them off, creating a lot of space with that Glacial Storm. But now Dragon in the sights for Fools 5, trying to stop that Dragon stacking, but the mid lane push is here for the side of Jolly Rogers. But a thing you were saying for Fools 5, they do need to stall this game out, but Jolly Rogers needs to accelerate it because this Anivia wave clear is going to be a problem in the late game. We can see Mao is on that fully stacked Roa, is on the fully stacked Seraph's Embrace as well, and the wave clear is now a issue in this game for the side of Jolly Rogers because they need to be pushing down these turrets, pushing all their advantages now. They lose Dragon, they lose mid lane outer turret, but they pick up the Otacon, and a big thing is nobody went down in that fight, but now mid lane tier 2 is under siege as well. This is going to be a positive play for Fools 5, a lot of gold that they needed in this game to start clawing their way back, only down 1.5k now as a long enchanted crystal arrow comes out onto Lord JK. Going to be stunned up forever, but they're going to be able to still get their way out of this one.
Yeah, I'm really confused by that play from Jolly Rogers there. Not only do they, take the fight that I'll talk about in a moment, but giving the dragon there, choosing to go to Atacon and then losing 2 towers when you're behind, you're the one who can set the pace. Foolish. Trying to set the pace
the
right
tower
now.
goes down, but Foolish is going to probably end up falling. He used the Keeper Verdict to Jex too, but now Reckoning is kind of just free-firing, but gets stunned up by Lord JK. The ultimate's going to come out, lock it as well. Ace of the Hole is not going to be able to pick up Reckoning in this one. They get the turret, they get the kill onto Foolish, and they are able to escape for their life, but they lose another top lane turret outer. They get one in the bot lane, so a little bit of gold advantage built back up here by Jolly Rogers.
Just very greedy again from Jolly Rogers. They're forcing over and over again for this 1 health mid tower, splitting it between everybody. That's going to give them, what, 25, 50 gold each? How much is that really worth? Because if 5th is there, that fight's over again in favor of Fools 5, because Ashe doesn't get the kill there. She dies to Urgot, and you don't get the tower. This overgrouping for this mid tower is really questionable. I don't think it's worth anything. Like, is your game state that much better now that you've gotten mid tower? You lost mid and tier 1 tower, like mid tier 1 and tier 2 tower before. You take that fight for what, right? You group up 5 mid, which your comp does like, but Caitlyn likes that too, Anivia likes that too, Karma likes that too, right? Instead of setting up prior around the dragon, keeping mid push, which could have done, and letting you soul, right? You never want to be in a position where you're getting Atacon and not getting soul. Now, I mean, the gold
Concrete could be in a little bit of trouble here. There's a collapse coming in out of Foolish, but the rest of Jolly Rogers are able to steal the Raptor camp and then be able to escape, establishing control around this Baron. But I think their focus should be on this next dragon. It puts them on Ocean Soul, and like you have said in the past, Beto, that is very good for the team comp that they have drafted with the amount of skirmishing that they do have. And also, the Crypt Bloom healing on top of all the healing you're going to be getting in these team fights, if you do get that Ocean Soul, is going to be massive. And Detached able to walk his way out of the leash from Karma, but now they're looking on to Foolish. He uses the Keeper's Verdict to eject Seacat, and that is a big summoner, a big use of the ultimate to be used here. Now they can all, if they feel like it, turn their focus on this Baron, but with Seacat taking a recall, I don't think that's going to be the call here out of Jolly Rogers.
Foolish.
Foolish face checks. Now he's going to be in a lot of trouble, but a nice wall to block off the jungle and support here of Jolly Rogers. But the Glacier Fissure hits onto 2, tagged up as Seacat, and Gentle Crystal Arrow is out, and it's tagged up onto Concrete. Concrete is going to fall down. Ludicrous is TP'd into the backside, and Atreides is already down, and down goes 5th as well. TPing in, it does not matter. Agnivia is down. 5th has to flash away, and they're still looking to go in on this one. But Fear Beyond Death comes, and it's a big one, and it does not matter. He is charmed up, and he falls down. All the same, they only lose Detached, they win the team fight, and now Baron is on the plate for the side of Jolly Rogers.
When you see how the fight goes without Poppy there, Foolish is really being the one to save a lot of these engages for our Fools 5. As we have a look again, it looks like here that Seacat and Detached are caught out, but Braum just provides so much time waste alongside the Ginger ult here that's about to come through. He jumps in. Gets the ult off, provides some more time. Beautiful TP from Ludicrous here. I mean, it doesn't end up mattering, like, everyone from Full 5 is dead anyway, but what a great TP behind from Ludicrous there to find the flank. Something that you don't see too much happen, but I mean, the Braum is doing so much work in these fights. Like, so much time waste. You really can't get through anybody if you're Fools 5 here.
Yeah, and I mean, same thing with CCAT on this Zhao with this build. It's like that bruiser, scrappy build. Oh, Concrete's just dead. Immediately face checks into a charm. It doesn't matter. Chandler Crystal Arrow flies out. It hits onto Foolish, and now all the focus is going to be turned onto the enemy jungler. Flash away from Atreides from the Glacial Fissure, and that just secures the Ocean Soul for Jolly Roger's. Concrete overstepping Atreides and getting caught with his jungler, and that is not what you need here. That is just going to be Jolly Roger's taking firm control, even more so than they had before in this first game here, as they just claim Ocean Soul and then look to siege with their Baron.
I mean, you're in a position now, the game down a lot of gold, nearly 10k, and it will be after this next tier 2 tower in the bot lane. Ocean Soul, Baron. What can you even do as Fool's 5 here beyond the Miracle? Ludicrous, he wants to give a Miracle over, sacrificing his life here potentially. Dominance
pops the Dominus. He could look to turn a lot of this now that the Ocean Soul is picked up. He actually is able to escape, and the wall actually saves him because it creates the space away from the side of Fool's 5 to be able to get any reinforcements there. Ludicrous playing with fire, but not getting burnt there. Able to get the escape thanks to the minion wave and a little bit of assist from his teammates.
Yeah, that's like, there is a piece of cake on a plate, and you go to reach for it, and you can't even get that. Right? That's probably the easiest kill that Fools 5 have had the entire game, and because they can't get it, this Renekton is too fed. Steric shield popped, has the tank boots that do a lot this game. Like, there's just not a lot of AP here. And you've got the Anivia, sure, but you don't have enough damage to really chunk through the Renekton health bar. Ocean Soul, like you said, comes through at the right time. And then, yeah, the Anivia wall blocks off the retreat, but Renekton can go over it. The team can't. So, I mean, I like the Anivia Poppy combo. Like, I understand what they're going for here. But Fifth, maybe caught out. Concussive blows will slow him down, but no stun coming out just yet. Looking for this tier 2 top tower. Seacat around the back. Might be caught out, but retreating well.
Yeah, and I mean, Noodle Daddy split pushing in the bot lane, clearing up that wave. Has TP if a big play does end up breaking out. But with the Baron buff, they are able to start the siege here on this top lane outer turret. But it is a 5v4 currently. It could be looked to turn. The wall comes out from Anivia, but it is not in the right spot. So able to get away is Detached, who would have been detached from his team in that play. But Audacious Charge used onto a Krug. Detached flashing forward. Oh, no, never mind. He just used the W forward. Flash is on cooldown. My bad, everybody. Relax.
Ari's push up this whole wave now to bot. Baron has fallen off. So risky to continue to go for it, but with Ocean Soul, you can take a prolonged fight like this. You will end up winning.
All right, so Fear Beyond Death is tagged up onto a Detached, but Detached is able to just escape from this one. A use of the Urgot ultimate, a big team fighting tool. If he's able to get that execute and then be able to be in the middle of the team fight, not going to be available if one does break out shortly here for the side of Jolly Rogers. As Lord JK had to walk away, had to go bot lane, clear that wave, as Noodle Daddy had, like you said, walked it all the way up that bottom lane from his own tier to turn in the bot lane. Now Concrete is just dead. A nice Triumph there, and now they're going to be turning their focus on to Foolish. He is stunned up, Triumph up. He's going to get a big Keeper's Verdict, and now it's just Ludicrous, but Enchanted Crystal Arrow flies out, does not hit onto anybody, and Ludicrous is able to get his way out of this play. A pick onto the enemy support, and Foolish barely keeps himself alive.
That Enchanted Crystal Arrow hit me there. Just flew straight past out the window into my room there. Baron still 2 minutes away, so while Jolly Rogers are in a very commanding spot right now, there isn't many tools on the map right now to really extend the game further than this, beyond Fools 5 taking a 5v5 team fight outside of their base, which would mean the end of the game completely. This top tier 2 is continuously getting looked at for Jolly Rogers, though. They want to find more.
Oh, Fifth goes in, but I don't think he wants that. Flashes away, and now he's getting stunned up, slowed up, taking a lot of damage from Reckoning. The Steric Shield is popped, and he uses Fear Beyond Death just to try to create some space, to create a spot that they don't want to be. Seacat has to flash over the Anivia wall as he's taking damage, and Trade is attacked up here by the concussive blow. Charms comes out, just barely misses. Ludicrous just split pushing for free in this bot lane as the fight was won by the rest of his team on the top side, and now they're going to try to turn their focus onto him, but he's able to slice his way out of that one, as his team is also able to escape with nobody falling down. Just a flash out of Seacat.
I mean, it's really, like, I don't know, it's confusing to me how Fools 5 let that bottom tower go. I mean, you give the tier 2 slowly. You were talking about the Anivia wave clear. Pardon me. you're talking about the Anivia wave clear and how good it can be. I mean, you either need the Anivia and maybe one or two more defending the turret. Once you clear the wave, there's no dive. Like you can't dive under tier 3 turret against like 2 or 3 members with no wave. It's just not possible. So you send the others over to the Renekton. Is he going to solo kill, this Urgot under tower to kill the, to kill the tower and the Urgot? Probably not, right? Baron 10 seconds away from spawning. Jolly Roger's in a great spot here.
Yeah, and I mean, now GA is picked up on Ludicrous. There's also a Bloodthirster onto
terrifying.
Reckoning, so it's just going to be so much harder. You got a 12-stack Magias on Noodle Daddy. The
This is
whole
Divinity.
Baron side is dark. You just see Detached kind of just being bait for the enemy team right now. And another thing I got to note, Concrete is kind of just auto-pathing his build here. When Redemption, there's no Mikhail's in sight. Detached does get stunned up. He gets pulled away from Steven. Channel Crystal Arrow just through the uprights. Charm barely misses onto Atreides, but they're able to get Baron as somehow Fools 5 able to escape with their life on that one. But now Elder spawns in 40 seconds, and that is where it looks like Fools are going to make their final stand here in this game against Ocean Soul, against the Baron. It is a tough task, but that is what they're looking to go for. Noodle Daddy sitting over the wall looking to land a charm, hits it on to Fifth here. Fifth taking a lot of damage. The wind becomes lane and is used onto him, but is able to get away, stunned up there by the Braum with the concussive blows, but nobody else in range to follow this up there, trying to just set up a bait right now as the Tatch is dumping forward. Wind becomes lightning, does not tag up onto anybody. Ludicrous slicing, dicing, and now there is a wall cutting off the Tatch, is tagged up by the Fear Beyond Death. Noodle Daddy is going forward, hits the charm onto Concrete. And we see side by side, screen by screen, we see the fight taken over here. Ludicrous is in the backline trying to create a lot of space, crowd, and create a lot of damage. Goes into that GA passive. Now the Tatch is to the focus here. A nice stun into the wall by Foolish, and it does not matter. The Tatch still has not fallen in this game, as Reckoning is just ending the game here by himself. The split push 80 carry is the recipe that has the game ending, and it is going to be Jolly Rogers picking up game number 1 here over Fools 5 Vanguard.
A beautiful win there from Jolly Rogers, who we thought was Fool's 5 at the beginning. But, I mean, every part of that game was in control for Jolly Rogers. Outside of the solo kills in top lane, every single engage went Jolly Rogers' way. Every single fight, all of the players, every objective went their way. You're just in a position where there isn't really anything you can do. Look at the damage from Ari there. I mean, Anivia did tons there. And damage numbers isn't, everything, but I mean, it's really hard when you're in a position against Soul, Baron, Elder is coming up. You're, down every turret. Going for a fight like that is the best thing you can do. It's unfortunate that Reckoning wasn't there and you're losing the fight anyway. A good attempt from Fools 5, but a dominant win for Jolly Rogers.
Yeah, it kind of just felt like a draft gap as we saw it coming out. It was just very hard for Fools 5 to do anything into the comp that was built up here by the side of Jolly Rogers, and they just executed on it flawlessly. They did exactly what they had to do in this game, only giving over 5 total kills that game. CCAT doesn't even fall down on the Xin Zhao. I mean, you pick Caitlyn Karma, you're supposed to hard win the lane, but against Ash Braum, that's not really possible because Braum can just mitigate so much that you're trying to do there. So just being on the back foot as a Caitlyn is already hard enough, and then Nivea getting set behind in the mid lane with Noodle Daddy showing up on the Zarya, getting that solo kill after popping the egg passive early. And your only hope in that game was Fifth. He started the game off 2-0, but you're pathing away from him the entire game. Renekton hits 6. Ludicrous goes for the all-in and just takes over the game from that point and that perspective, with the rest of his team also just starting to go ham across the rest of the map. It was just really hard from minute 1 for the side of Fools 5.
Yeah, and I've been pretty vocal in my casts about what I'm about to say. I'm really not a fan of Enchanter support if you're not really good at it. I know that it feels great, and I would love to preface, I do love Enchanter support. I think that it's a really cool archetype of a character, and I think that in the right situations, Enchanter support can completely run over a game. But the problem is, are you a player that's going to run over the game with an Enchanter support with a Karma, right? Probably not. Are you?
Oh, it looks like I lost Beto there for a second. Little bit of Wi-Fi issues, but Like you was saying, like Enchanter support is a hard archetype of support to play. It's different than anything else you play. But we're gonna head to a short break here as we get the teams ready for game number 2 here between Fools 5 Vanguard and Jolly Roger Swashbucklers. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back in a couple of minutes. And we are back for our game number 2 draft here between Jolly Rogers and Fools 5. It looks like sides are staying the same, I believe, but if you remember correctly, we're playing in a full Fearless League. Any of the 10 champions you saw last time will not be available this game either. And so far, looks like bans are sticking the same here for both these teams.
Yeah, which means that these must be picks that neither team is happy with the other playing, which is it's surprising to me, right? Because I was talking about it before. There's a Renata here. There's an Alistair being banned away by Fools 5, I believe it was. Nocturne is going to be the ban change up this time, so looking to first pick. What else did Jolly Rogers ban? I don't remember what the ban change up was here. Banning away the Jinx as well. So Alistair still available as well. Could be something that either team goes towards, but Jolly Rogers with the first pick. 80 carriers on the table. I mean, Varus available, if that's something that you want to go to. But Mel, that's what they banned. That's right. So they're going to go towards the Mel first pick for Jolly Rogers.
Yeah, and I'm wondering if this is flexible between Noodle Daddy and Reckoning, because then it does give you that little bit of depth in the draft. I do think Mel is a good champion, but a good counter to her is this Amumu. Like, yeah, you don't take the damage from Bandage Toss, but he's still on top of you. You can't reflect it. You reflect it back to him, guess what? You go to him. So have fun with that one. And I pair it up with Galio. That's also classic combo. You get stunned up by that Curse of the Sad Mummy. In comes the heroic entrance. You don't get to move for a couple of seconds. So if Fools 5 are able to make that work, they're going for what looks like a more teamfight heavy draft than the likes they did in that game number 1, where it was very focused on siege and turret pressure, which they were never able to acquire in that first game, while Jolly Rogers is looking just for more straight up teamfights. Skarner, Xayah, pretty good in teamfights. Xayah is also just good into the Amumu and the Galio because you have that self safety with the use of that ultimate.
Going Xayah in the top 3, when you aren't able to pick Rakan here, I imagine that Fools 5 are going to ban away the Rakan here, as it is banned. This might be a strange shout, but I would kind of love, like, a 10th pick Camille here for Fools 5. It works great with the Kai'Sa, right, adding another layer of CC, but it also layers on top of it adds another thing for Gallia to ult to. It works really well with the Amumu. It's great into the Skarner too, right? I mean, you've got the Kai'Sa for that. Banning the Fiora, like, I don't know. It might be a Camille angle here for Fools 5.
Yeah, I mean, I do like what you're putting down there, Beto. I think it is a really good pick. But Jolly Rogers is even better than both of us, just snuffing that one out immediately, going, no. You're not getting that R5 Camille here in this game. I mean, Xayah can be very potent in team fights. I was just casting another series over in BOL last week where Xayah Milio absolutely took over a game, like hard carried it. So if Reckoning is able to perform on this Xayah, could be a very scary threat. And now when you pick the Mordekaiser, you open yourself up to that Gwen counter pick. So right now, Jolly Rogers is looking on Reckoning on the Xayah to control all their AD damage coming out in this game. If they get set behind, can be rough, but Detached are gonna go for the Nautilus. Look, I'm a support main. I think Nautilus is terrible currently. Everybody just picks him because they go, haha, he has the engage button, but I just think he's in a really rough state, and Alistair is a really good answer into him. So Detached might have a harder game here than he did on the Braum in that previous game, but R5 support counter pick. Hopefully Concrete can make it work on this Alistair champion he is rather proficient on, so hopefully he's able to make it work. And I mean, the Fools 5 team comp is pretty solid here in this game. Just a hard team fighting. You use that ultimate out of 5th to cause chaos, either take him out that Gwen. You might not win that 1v1, but you keep the Gwen away from the rest of your team, or you just pull in that Xayah and make it even rougher for Jolly Rogers to win those team fights.
This is one of those situations that I was talking about in the top lane where I love the Camille there. Like, I think it looks great, that comp, if it has Camille, looks so nice. But now Mordekaiser, like, I'm thinking between the two picks, where's the connection between those two, right? Camille does, her stuff, engage, follow-up, collapse, target selection onto the Xayah after her ult, onto Mel. Mordekaiser does 0 of that. So it's a very strange, that's not the right draft. It's a very strange, go from Camille to Mordekaiser. I mean, I know that if you go something like an Ornn or a Sion, you're still getting counterpicked by Gwen, but maybe you're still playing like a more team fighty draft with something like a Ornn or a Sion there. I just feel like the Mordekaiser doesn't have a place in this draft. I mean, maybe you're ulting away Skarner around dragon fights. Maybe you're flash ulting the Xayah or the Mel, but even then, like, is that really what you want from the top lane? Jolly Rogers comp, it is synergistic in all its picks, maybe outside the Mel. I mean, I think that it still layers CC quite well. Mel has a lot of poke, Xayah doesn't. So, you know, Gwen, Xayah, Skarner really want to be in the fray. Brawling, Nautilus can do the same thing. He can start the fight, he can peel, and Mel really wants to poke.
Yeah, I mean, definitely going to be a very interesting game number 2 here between these two teams. I'm really curious to see who is going to be getting the win here, if Fools are able to push us to that game 3, or if Jolly Rogers is just able to get that other clean 2-0 this week. As a team I didn't know much about coming into this week, but they are going to be on my radar going forward. All right, so we are here in game 4, number 2, as we see all of Full 5 going forward. Ooh. Flash forward out of concrete on this Nautilus, and the pick and bans were backwards once again, but CCAT immediately falls down. Fools 5 is on the blue side, Jolly Rogers on the red side, and I mean, we were praising the Fools draft thing, like we got our drafts backwards again here, Beto.
Yeah, I do still love the Fools 5 draft. I just don't love the Mordekaiser in it. I am a much bigger fan of the Fools 5 draft this game. I think that it's actually got an identity, and while the Mel is
we got some trading down here in the bot lane right now. Detach is going to get the knock up there onto Concrete. Concrete gets that full plasma stack proc onto him. Reckoning putting out more damage, but taking a lot in the backside. Atreides trading very well using that. And the hook in onto Reckoning as well. My Concrete is super low. Flash forward by Detach. Doesn't hit the Pulverize either. And now Detached is going to be left to the slaughter. Reckoning also taking a lot of damage. Atreides in the backside. Now Detached is going to try to fight his way out of this one. Concrete gets ignited. And now Atreides is going to be in a lot of trouble. Hook in. Barrier used Atreides flash over the wall by Reckoning as well, getting those plasma stacks down, trying to trade back now onto Concrete, and he might be able to get another kill here if he's able to land the abilities, but not going to push his luck any further. It is a fast 1v1 pre-minions trade, 80 carry for support, and that is a win for Jolly Rogers, because now Reckoning can just farm up this wave.
Yeah, big CS and XP diff right now being generated for Reckoning. Good all-in and a great look. But the thing is, though, right, if you're looking for a level 1 all-in as Xayah, typically you want to go W start. I'm pretty sure Atreides has Q start, which is great for wave clear, but it's not great for the all-in, right? You do a little bit of damage, and then, yeah, it does have Q start. So can't pull, you don't have E, right? So Q is kind of useless there. If Atreides had started W and had the extra attack speed, the extra damage there,
now we're getting to play in the mid lane. Flash forward here out of Noodle Daddy gets the tart, and Lord JK immediately has to flash away from the bandage toss there. Detach just roaming out of base, forcing the summoner spell in the mid lane.
Just Jolly Rogers just play this early game better, don't they? The early 2v2 in bot went their way, and then the roam from Detached up to the top lane, Rune in mid. Oh, it's close.
Sorry about that. You caught me mid-drink when you passed that
over.
I saw. Oh, yeah. Noodle Daddy is actually taking... It's all good. It's all good. Noodle Daddy is actually taking a lot of damage in this early lane. That is the issue with Galio, is, like, you are that melee tank, and you're going to take a lot of poke damage out from this Mel. But now that he does have that Shields of Durand, has that passive, he's going to use the Justice Punch forward. He's trying to trade on, but I don't think you want this one, and he is already dead to Lord JK in the mid lane. That is 2 kills now, and now we have a fight in the bot lane. Headbutt Pulverize is used there by Natasha, looking to get a lot of damage here onto Concrete, but Foolish is here to turn this play around. Hook hits on into Reckoning, and Reckoning is going to end up falling down here on the backside. Ignite was taking onto him, and now the Tash is left like lambs to the slaughter, but he is ground beef. Atreides double kill in the bot lane, and CCAT is going to waddle his way home with no friends.
Feels a bit rough. Like, what is happening right now for Jolly Rogers? I was saying that their early game seems to be better. A great roam from detached into mid to force the flash out of Mel. Very conservative gameplay. And then Noodle is just like, yeah, it's
No,
my
now
turn to
Noodle gets
die. Maybe even
rooted up. He
again.
also taunts against against the Foolish. Now he's just gonna take a lot of damage on this backside after immediately TPing in. Lord JK running the mid lane in this game number 2, unlike how he was in game number 1 up against Noodle.
The thing is about the Galio, and this is something that I see quite often in the lower divisions. Galio, his job is to like stalemate the mage lane. And maybe that's not supposed to happen until, you know, a few levels come in, level 5, level 6, you know, some of that MR starts being built.
Oh, and hold that thought as Foolish is looking for a play up in top lane against Ludicrous. Ludicrous going to use that Q to try to get a lot of damage. Has the passive pull, gets the pull forward onto Foolish, flash away, but Ignite is ticking, and the Q boulder toss snipe is there from Foolish. Picks up another kill for Fools 5. We are 5 minutes in this game, 7 kills, and they are all going in favor of Fools 5 this game.
The one silver lining is that scaling is handedly in the favor of Jolly Rogers in this game. You've got the tank Skarner late game, some great team fighting from the Xayah, the guaranteed engage from the Nautilus. But, you know, Galio late game is a really strong tank. There's not tons of tank burst outside of the Gwen for Fools 5. On the other side, you've got a Kai'Sa, right? Kai'Sa late game. There is a ton of scaling in that department. Alistair as well has some great engages. So, although Jolly Rogers are in a very rough situation right now, getting frozen in bot lane after their push out wasn't, you know, correct. I reckon he's just doing some emote spamming and then, you know, bunch of kills around the map. 2-0 for mid right now, 3-1 for this Xayah, which, like, how do you fight that?
Oh, a hook lands in and now detached. Are going to take a lot of damage. Atreides is trying to trade very well here. Reckoning not really able to get a whole lot of damage, but that nice use of that Void Seeker gets a nice chunk there out of Atreides. So it is a win in the bot lane, but now going forward in the mid lane is Noodle Daddy. He gets the deflect back of his own Q, but he gets the better end of that trade, but he's going to get hit up there by just the outside of the E. But now CCAT is in the bot lane. Atreides is the focus here. He already popped barrier, shut down over on the CCAT. Bandit Sauce number 2 is used on the Concrete. Concrete is going to take a lot of damage. Void Seeker hits, pops the plasma, but is not enough at this point in the game to get the kill. They are able to punish this flashless, not level 6 Xayah in the bot lane. Yes, it went on to CCAT, but you're happy to get that one. Now Concrete is actually getting focused down here, and now Detached is actually going to go down to the turret. Concrete is going to be able to solo kill the enemy support with the assist from the turret. All right, and I think I have lost Beto once again there, but in the meantime, there was a solo kill up in the top lane. Fifth getting a solo kill there onto Ludicrous, and everything in this early game is just turning up Fools 5. Now, Lord JK is in a little bit of pressure here in this mid lane. CCAT misses the first bandage toss, so he's just going to waddle his way out of this one, and he's looking for some friends on this map. Yes, he did get that first early kill in the bot lane. He had some helpful plays on the other side, but it's just looking really rough here for the side of Fools 5 here in this game number 2 early game. I mean, sorry, it's looking really good for Fools 5 here in this game number 2 early game. Looking really rough for Jolly Rogers after how strong of an early game we saw out of them in that first game. I mean, Xayah, who died early, lost all that XP and CS down in the bot lane, is up CS, up in kills, and is looking really strong at this point in the game. Beto, before he had that disconnect, sadly, was talking how the side of Jolly Rogers does scale very well, but this Xayah also scales well, but never mind. I'm going to hold that thought as there's some damage coming down here onto Noodle Daddy in the mid lane as they're just zoning him and his team away from getting this dragon, as it's just going to go the way of Fools 5. They're taking everything on the map here in this early game. 8 minutes in, up to a 3K gold lead here.
Bit of a brawling up in top lane. Sorry for that.
Beto is back, and there is some brawling in the top lane. Like you said, Ludicrous is looking to try to get the solo kill onto fifth, but the turret shots are dissuading that one. No flash either. Not going to be able to pick that one up. Very close up there in that top lane.
Yeah, Fools 5 having a very good early game right now. Like, contrast to their last early game, which was very weak. Grubs being taken by CCAT right now is a good win for Jolly Rogers. They don't have too much split push. Great hook, finds Detached, but And the Atreides not in position to continue that fight out. Dragon over to Fool's 5 earlier before. Fifth
I
getting
don't know.
dove.
Fifth is just gonna die here. Needlework getting a lot of damage. The turret shot's not able to pick up the kill onto Seacat. Uses the Curse of the Sad Mummy to secure the kill there. And now Reckoning getting a nice bit of damage trade on the bot lane onto Atreides. But he's gonna get hooked in by Concrete. And now the rest of the team is looking for blood. Foolish trying to get in. Does get the wall slam. But he's stunned by the turret. Detached drops him back in. He ends up falling down, shut down onto Reckoning, and Detached lives through all of that. What an absolutely beautiful play out of that Alistair.
Nice peel getting found there, and some slight wins here for Jolly Rogers, finding the dive in top and then living the 2v2 over in bot lane. And I mean, Dragon, 3.5 minutes away. You're in no need to fight for anything. This wave crash might be a bit scary. Maybe Seacat needs to come and hover, but he's instead looking to path towards the mid lane, and that's fine because the bot lane of Fool's 5 doesn't want to continue that fight. But yeah, Jolly Rogers. I mean, they go down quite a lot in the early. But now around 10 minutes in, they found some wins. They've got some space here, and despite the gold, it's a while before, you really have to fight. I mean, even so, you can give second Dragon here, not feel too bad about it. You're ages away from Soul. You've got time to come back into the game, get a Kai'Sa, her evolved Q, get some boots online for, this Amumu, the tank boots from Alistair as well, Alistair and Amumu. Let Mordekaiser kind of work this lane a bit more. That
Fifth gets another solo kill in the top lane.
Did.
I saw the HP bars going down back and forth. I didn't think a kill was going to come through from it, but able to find another solo kill. This Gwen in the top lane, that Ignite having the power it needs, and damage coming down here onto Lord JK. Detached is looking for a play in the mid lane, but he gets a headbutt pulverize. Never mind, there might be something here. The Q doesn't land there out of Noodle Daddy, and now he's stunned up. Hook forward, but it goes through barely, but now Skarner uses that Impale. Gets back unbreakable, well popped here by the side of Detached, and a heroic entrance used by Noodle Daddy. So a lot of summoners now, but here comes the depth charge used onto Noodle Daddy. Noodle Daddy going to taunt up too, but he's not going to be able to get his way out of this one. Lord JK picks up the one. They root up Detached. He's going to flash away, and here comes the ultimate Golden Eclipse. Picks up a double kill, and now Reckoning is in trouble. A nice 3-man ultimate there out of Seacat, but it does not matter because a triple kill has been picked up for Lord JK, and they're not going to be able to pick up this other one. Seacat does get a killing spree. He picks it up there onto Concrete, but a quadra kill for Lord JK. 11.5 minutes into game number 2.
Completely out of mana, completely out of health. He still finds the quadra kill. Looking in the top, Fifth, using that needle. But unfortunately, not able to chase that out. I mean, Jolly Rogers, their comp is strange, right? Because if we have a quick look back at this, there's not a ton of damage. It's mostly Kai'Sa. So you have a look at how much fighting there is here from Jolly Rogers, rooted out. And there's one thing, look at the missed synergy here, right? Alistair, then he ults himself after getting paled. Then Galio ults late to try to peel. Now Galio is in trouble, walks forward, gets caught on the dash, ulted by Nautilus. That depth charge finds the Torrent to 2. Where's the damage coming from right now for Fool's 5? Executed there by the ult, and then Kai'Sa rotates in melee range into the tanks from Fool's 5. Not enough damage, finds a triple kill, beautiful reflect there. And Seacat does find one, and with the last tiny bit of mana, the Lord finds the quadra kill.
I mean, something crazy I saw in that play. Reckoning tried to use Killer Instinct to reposition, but Foolish, with the Ixtal's impact, caught him on the dash and slammed him into the wall. So it just feels bad. But now Reckoning and Detach are actually in a really bad position here. Detach is going to get the engagement, double impale there. The depth charge is also used, and now Atreides is going to pull through the feathers, try to get a lot of damage down here. Reckoning is already going to fall down to Atreides. Another hook is hit by Concrete, and Detach is just going to end up falling onto the backside. Heads a 3-man headbutt over as his Foolish forward, but it does not matter because Atreides is going to pick up a double kill here. And this game is all Fool's 5 Vanguard Golden Eclipse to secure another kill for Lord JK. 7-0 on this Mel now. Oh, but there goes the bandage toss. The Curse of Sad Mummy is not quite up yet. Seacat is probably going to be able to pick up this kill. Hits the bandage toss number 2, but the Ceres is there as well. And now he's going to get hooked up, stunned up. Everything is being used. Lord JK ends up falling to the Curse of the Sad Mummy, but Seacat is also going to end up falling to the goons of Fool's 5. Fool is able to pick up that kill.
The good shutdown finds some more protection for Amumu, but like again, not only is, a bit of where's the damage, but I spoke about it a bit before I DC'd, I think. Needlework up in top lane, trying to find the solo
And
kill, and
yeah,
will
gets
find it
it.
actually. Just wow. Fools 5 just running away with this game.
Yeah, it is going to be a little rough here for Jolly Rogers to come back in this. They have the tools to be able to come back in this game with their team fight potential, but the way they're playing right now, they're not team fighting. They're not using everything correctly. Like you said, there was a lot of dis-synergy in that mid lane play where Lord JK got that quadra kill, but it is just looking rough here in game number 2 for Jolly Rogers.
And the Galio. Something that I was going to talk about a bit earlier, that, yeah, it's a counter pick. It's supposed to neutralize mage lanes. Not when you're 2 levels down, not when Mel is 7-1. It does not do that anymore. You just sit there as a melee, like, piece of paper and just get smacked around. Mel in the bot lane now, putting the bot lane, oh, pardon me, into mid. Herald spawning in about 10 seconds here. Maybe a option for Fools 5. And Squires need more time. You've got about 9 or so minutes before Soul, but this game it's Infernal Soul. Infernal Soul with a fed Mel, with a Gwen, with a Xayah that's fed as well. That's going to spell the end of the game 100%. There is no chance of coming back against Infernal Soul, no matter how good your team comp is. Unless, for some reason, Fools 5 decide to let Kai'Sa get 6 items. Maybe then it's winnable. Herald being started up by Fools 5. Jolly Rogers just completely out of the game right now.
Yeah, I'm also not a big fan of this version of the Kai'Sa build where you go static Shiv into Gwynsu's. I'm just like, I'm not a big fan of it. I feel like it just does so little damage, but never mind. I'm going to hold that thought. They are caught here. Rooted up is Reckoning, and Lord JK is just going to get that one. Concrete flashes forward, gets the hook onto him. Atreides on a killing spree now, able to pick that one up. But like I was saying, I think static Shiv Kai'Sa is not the call in this game. Like, yes, you do need some wave clear, but like, I feel like you should just go the classic Kraken into Gwynsu's build. Yeah. But now, I just like the lack of damage, but never mind. Now all the CC and damage is coming down onto CCAT. Not able to move, gets the Curse of the Sad Mummy, but it does not matter because the Atreides is going to pick up another kill for himself. Now you have a fed Mel and a fed Xayah to deal with in this game.
Yeah. This is like exactly how the look great TP as well to match the lanes. As long as someone can catch top soon, maybe TP from Mel up to the top lane or just a walk. Good reflect on no.
Yeah, Reckoning Hero's entrance is used here. Reckoning could look for a play onto Lord JK on the backside, but the plasma sacks fall off. Flash forward out of Noodle Daddy getting that hook, the taunt down, but a big golden eclipse does not matter because Lord JK has already fallen, but now Atreides is going to take over this fight. Flash forward gets a double kill for himself, and now he's looking for even more. Reckoning going to flash over the wall to be able to pick up that kill onto the enemy ADK, and now Fifth is here as well. The needles are out, and they are working, but in the death realm is Concrete. Ludicrous trying to keep himself alive. Reckoning uses the barrier, trying to turn this one back around. Fifth is actually taking a whole lot of damage here on the backside. Concrete is going to end up living, but ends up falling there to Reckoning, and now Foolish flash forward, gets the auto attack empowered Q auto, and gets the kill onto Reckoning. Fifth and Foolish the only ones alive. CCAT is alive, detached back on the Rift, and a whole lot of scrap for nothing in the mid lane. Blows go both ways.
Reckoning cooked really hard that fight. Found the shutdown on both Mel and this Xayah. Great TP from Ludicrous. Ludicrous actually, sorry, the one found the shutdown onto Mel there. But Reckoning got the shutdown onto Atreides there, plus the kill on the Alistar. Massive kills here for Jolly Rogers. A necessary team fight. And you're in a position where you're down this much gold. You need to take these scrappy random fights that aren't really for anything. It's on Fools 5 to not be the ones who get caught there. Giving Xayah 3 kills, and one of them, a shutdown on your fed member there. I see that bounty, 360 gold there over to Xayah, plus, yeah, obviously the kill gold for those 3. Shutdown for Ludicrous as well from the Mel. It doesn't even it out, as you can see. Noodle is still most likely dead.
Oh my god, Golden Eclipse execute is crazy. I mean, yeah, I think Reckoning did play that team fight very well. I think a small thing you could note is he doesn't have to flash to get the kill onto Atreides. You could just give that kill to Ludicrous, because then he has a flash where he could continue to play forward like he was with CCAT and not get caught by maybe like one of those needleworks coming out of Fifth or that auto attack coming out of Foolish, and probably be able to turn that team fight even more in their favor is just like a small nitpick thing. But like you said, that is a kind of play you got to be looking for. But now Seacat's in trouble. The Wolf keeps him alive from the Q from Concrete, but
What
the
are we
Crimson
doing
Sun Mummy
here,
comes out.
guys?
They're actually turning onto a
What are
Atreides,
we
and Atreides is going to be
doing?
able to fall. Seacat lives the whole time, and a double kill there for Reckoning. And now Reckoning is actually just going to end up going down. He's caught in the backside. Hero's Entrance is used, but it does not matter. The Tash now gets a 3-man knockup. There is no damage here for the side of Jolly Rogers, but they're going to try to be playing this one out as Lucas is on his way over. Noodle Daddy is actually getting snipped up, and a double impale there out of Foolish. They're going to end up getting a 3 kills on this one. Looking for a 4th here onto Detached. They're trying to play this one out. Ludacris has Lord JK and the Death Realm, but I do not think it matters because Foolish is going to pick up another kill there onto the Alistair and a 4th one there in that team fight. 2 separate double kills for Foolish on this Skarner. And now there's also a Fed Skarner to deal with. This is looking better and better for Fools 5.
Still though, like, Fools 5 are making these really weird decisions. Why are the bot lane that far forward getting called out once again? Kaiser is getting gold, like significant amount of gold. After that first fight, bought full Rage Blade. Now on that base, bought a full Blasting one. That's 850 gold. Like, I'm really confused as to why we're even giving like Jolly Rogers an option to take a fight like that. Why are you that far forward by yourselves? If Kaiser plays that slightly better, I was watching the cooldown of ult. I thought it was up. It might have just not been up. I think Reckoning lives there. And yeah, like I said before, and you pointed it out just then, a lot of the damage on Jolly Rogers is on this Kaiser right now. Galileo doesn't have any damage items, really. You know, no Rift Maker right now. Yeah, there's a Leandries for Seacat. No real damage from Ludacris either. Once Kaiser's dead, the fight is kind of over. But if Kaiser's around, and Kaiser has a lot of bodyguards this game, it is so much better for Jolly Rogers. Like, Kaiser Reckoning is getting gold in items. Like, pretty close in items to this Zaya too. Like, Mel's items.
Oh, and
really
Fifth just gets a shutdown onto Ludacris, but now he's taking a lot of damage. The ultimate is used and a shutdown onto Reckoning. Oh, man, this is starting to look like Reckoning is on his way to starting to take over this game. He has no use of that killer instinct anymore, but he has Barrier. He has Flash for the next team fight that's going to be taken. And those are going to be important as Otacon is going to go over to Fools 5. I mean, yeah, Reckoning has to kind of play this fight perfect to have a chance, because if Mel gets 1 kill in this fight with that Otacon power, it is going to be catastrophic, even if Zaya doesn't. But now Seacat is actually going to be the one who's caught out here. Tatch is in the area. He's not going to be able to save his jungler. Just save your summoner spells, save your cooldowns. Falls down again, and that is a pick that Fools 5 is allowed to look for and should be looking for, as they're now going to look to push in the bot lane tier 2 turret, and Reckoning is the only one responding, and that might not be the play you want to do, buddy.
Reckoning does have 3 items, full Nashes, 3 minutes before this soul is taken.
Foolish gets a 2-man impale, and one of them goes on to Reckoning. Reckoning Flash and Barrier immediately used there, and now they're looking to turn this fight. Detached is actually creating a lot of space, but he is paper thin right now. Gonna get cut down. Concrete gets the hook onto Reckoning. Reckoning now has no summoner spells. It is gonna fall to Atreides in the back side of that one, and now it's just Ludacris alive for the team. And it is not going to matter. That was not what you needed to do there as the side of Jolly Rogers. Maybe Reckoning could have saved one of those summoner spells more defensively instead of popping both of them instantly, and he did get punished for it.
Yeah, forced to flash away from the first hook, or I'm fairly sure it might have been the Skarner ult actually, and then caught by the hook. We'll have a look here. So he's Skarner ulted, he flashes away here from the Mel route, and then Barrier's nothing essentially, yeah. And you're like, if you walk away as Reckoning right now, do you lose the tower? I don't think you do. So, like, I think you walk back up to try to fight, get hooked, and you're just giving over kills for nothing, basically, for free. Again, this is a very sloppy game from both teams here. Considering I think Jolly Rogers played the first game really well, like really, really, really well.
Now Seacat is in a lot of trouble here. Foolish gonna get the stun on to Detached, and in double 3-man curse. The Sad Mummy is used there. Detached Seacat trying to fight their way out of this one, but it is not gonna matter. Reckoning is on the backside looking to make his way into this fight. Foolish already gets 1 kill. Seacat bandage tosses his way back into this one. It is already picked up there by Atreides. Then Foolish is able to pick up the next kill onto Ludacris, and now Reckoning is in a whole lot of trouble. He does not even win a 1v1 against the Skarner at this point in the game. Heroic entrance used by Noodle Daddy to keep his AD carry alive. but it does not matter. And Baron isn't even on the Rift yet, and this is the pressure that is being put out by Fools 5 in this game.
I mean, if you're Jolly Rogers, to be honest, if I'm Reckoning, I am screaming at my team like, guys, I am your only damage. I am still fed to this point. Like, I'm still stronger than Xayah, or up until, the few more kills Xayah got. She has pickaxe now. Pretty close to, I assume it'll be Infinity Edge. Could be a BT, though. But guys, I'm really fed. Stop fighting when I'm not there and give me time. Before that, pardon me, before that tower fight in bot lane, that was about 3 minutes until the next dragon. That's time for Xayah to get more items. In that time, though, Xayah has died. Sorry, Kai'Sa has died once at the bot fight, getting no minions, and then walked over to try to fight. Had to get, bailed out by Galio ult that wasn't super necessary. And now, Kai'Sa has got no more items past Nasha, not even any pieces, and you're steering down the barrel of Infernal Soul right here.
Yeah, now the TES in a little bit of trouble, but so is the rest of the team of Jolly Rogers. They're looking to get all the damage on the Fools. Onto Noodle Daddy. Fifth flash forward, gets the Ignite down, uses the Needlework to get it down. Seacat is also caught on the backside, gets close to the three-man ult, but it does not matter because Ludicrous also falls. Now flash forward, Low JK is going to get the slow there onto Reckoning. Reckoning is not going to be long for this world. The hook hits onto a wall concrete, and now the TES and Reckoning against the world. I don't think they're going to be able to do it. This is not their hero montage moment as Fools 5 is breaking open the base concrete, missed the hook onto the Alistair there at this point, but I do not think it matters. I think the damage has been done. I think Fools 5 are ending this game right here, and there's nothing Jolly Rogers can say about it.
I mean, there were some opportunities there for Jolly Rogers, some big comebacks with multiple kills, some mistakes from Fools 5 there, but at the end of the day, Fools 5 continue to take very scrappy fights in both games. In that game, when you've got so many winning lanes, like look at those scores, 12-4, 9-2, 9-1, 8-3, the scrappy fights favor you so much more. To come back from that, if you're Jolly Rogers, you need to have concise fights where your objective is very, everyone's on the same page, sorry. Kai'Sa needs to be hitting on the right target, zone from Mordekaiser, ulting the Mel. Let's try to kill the Gwen. Let's try to kill the Xayah. Alistair engage. Amumu CC on everybody. But you're not able to get that fight when everyone's split off. Fools 5 are taking 1v1s, 2v1s, 2v2s, and it favors them so much more. Xayah in the 2v2. Skarn is super tanky. Gwen, great, 1v2, 2v2 champion. I think it's hard to say, this was really great for Fools 5 or that was really bad for Jolly Rogers because plain and simple, the first kill onto Mel really, really helps her. But also, you just have every lane winning, right? It's very difficult to say, oh, this team fight, that team fight. There was some really bad over-aggression on the side of Fools 5 where they could have thrown the fight against a team that, can capitalize off of that and can see the angles and sees your throws and is playing a lot more together and is not giving you random picks in the jungle. Really strange to me that Seacat sees Atakan be killed and then is still doing his blue buff like nothing's happening. They're not going to walk up and check your buffs are up. They're going to check, and they do, and you die. Against a team that isn't going to do that, Fools 5 might have thrown the game, but still a great early game, really dominant lanes for them. So it's a great look. I'm excited for this game 3.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be a great game 3 either way. Both teams losing their first games of the season in this series after getting 2-0s in week 1. So we'll see which one can keep their perfect record in week 2 here going 2-0, or which one is going to get their first loss on the board. We'll find out in a couple minutes as we set to a break, getting ready for teams to get ready for our game number 3 draft. And we are back for game number 3, our final game between Fools 5 Vanguard and Jolly Rogers Swashbuckler. And we were talking about it before we, showed our beautiful faces again. We're hoping for a much closer game here between these teams because
Yeah.
game number 1, Jolly Roger kind of stomped. Game number 2, Fools 5 kind of stomped. So I'm hoping for a much more competitive banger game number 3. I'm not just hoping for a stomp one way or the other. I want action. I want blood. I want to see a close game coming down to the wire.
Yeah, I agree. I'm happy, you know, after a certain amount of time for it to be very handily on, but I'm hoping for no like, yeah, really early first blood and then one fight turns into another one. And to be fair, in the first game there was a couple of solo kills in the top lane and that, didn't end up really mattering. But I mean, mid and the AD carry position in these two teams have been quite important over the two games. So, with a lot of those picks taken away, um, my friend and other caster Aussie, I believe it's him, who says in his mind, AD carry is the pool that gets pinched the earliest in Fearless. I believe you might have said that too. Could be wrong,
Yeah,
but
I have to agree with that. I think it's like 80 carry and then support are like the
mm,
two. And then like depending on the top laner, it would be top lane because like there's some top
mm,
laners who like I can only play tanks or I can only play bruisers.
yeah,
Like you gotta like diverse your champion pool somewhere. But like I feel like I agree with 80 carry just because there are only certain 80 carries that are like really, really strong and like super S tier,
mm,
and like then everybody else, like you got your like A tier, and then it kind of is just like everybody else in like the cesspool of just like not great. So, like you said, definitely gonna
yeah.
be interesting to see where the 80 carries go in this draft.
And I mean, even some of the higher prior things like Callista, right? Callista is not played anything outside of like basically semi-pro, and it shouldn't be because it's really difficult, right? You shouldn't be playing Callista just because you've seen it get played in Korea, right? I think Ezreal is another one of those things where I've seen some pretty decent Ezreals in lower tiers, but if you aren't a good Ezreal and you pick it, you're basically just signing the defeat on in draft. Like if you're actually speaking of, Jolly Roger's banning it. So I guess they are convinced that Fools 5 are comfortable in the Ezreal. Varus, in my opinion, is one of the 80 carries that I personally think is quite an easy 80 carry. I'm an 80 carry player. I love Varus. I think he's super simple. He's very flexible. Would love to see a first big Varus here. I think that it's very strong. There's literally nothing here that can beat it. Maybe a Jhin can like even the lane out. But even then, I think Varus is the highest prior 80 carry here outside of Callista. I would love to see that be picked, especially when you're banning Jarvan against it. Like, Jarvan's a great pick against Varus. We'll have to see what is picked up here by Jolly Rogers, whether it's going to be something from the ADC role. Maybe it's a jungle. It's actually going to be Jinx. That's right. Jinx is left open. Totally forgot Jinx is still up.
Yeah, you just assume that Jinx is going to be banned every game, and then the time that it isn't, you're just like, I'm going to ignore it because it's probably going to be banned. But Jinx is picked up. Like you said, I do agree with the Varus point. Another 80 carry I was hoping that we would be able to get to see is the Sivir, who did get buffed on that early ricochet damage, so it can make laning very annoying. But they're going to go for the Senna here. We've seen a lot of Senna reworks since she's ever come out, and this one, you get more souls from the minions you kill. So 80 carry Senna is alive and thriving once again. And like you said, Wukong, really good pick into the Jinx. But then I also kind of like the Zac pick. I don't like it so much into Wukong because he can cancel your engage with the use of his ultimate. And a big thing is he can cast his ultimate twice. You can't cast your E twice, but Ornn also really does help out with the engage potential from any team. And with Braum being down, no way to stop it. It's gonna, unless you're playing the Cinch counter pick that Impact has busted out aeons ago, there's gonna be no way unless you're CCing him and stopping him from getting the second charge off.
And I love this front line that Jolly Rogers have built. The Ornn Zac is a very difficult front line to get through. Wukong is super strong right now. I was watching it, I think Yike was playing it last night in the LEC. Just had a completely dominant performance against, it was a Callista. If Wukong can find you at all, he can execute you pretty quickly. But there is something to be said about the tankiness from Jolly Rogers. Is there anything that can chew through this Ornn Zac right now? I don't think there is. There isn't really enough consistent damage to stop the healing from Zac. The Lulu ban makes sense against the Jinx, but there's still stuff available, and you can go towards a Tahm Kench. You can go towards just like a very standard like Leona, Rel. You can go Thresh if you want to. Obviously, you don't have counter pick. The Tahm Kench is being taken away by Fool's 5 here. Would love some more tank shred. I would honestly love an Azir here for Noodle Daddy. I don't know if he can play it, but a ton of range really helps. Rakan being picked up here to pair with the Jinx is quite a good pairing, good engage to allow the Jinx. There's so much fun lane. We need some hardcore damage from the mid lane here from Jolly Rogers. I would love an Azir. Smolder isn't bad. I don't mind it, but it does allow you to get counter picked by maybe like a Xerath. Then it has a ton of range where Smolder can't stack it very easily on you. Have to see. Cassie. Not bad.
Okay. So, my thing with Jolly Rogers comp is it takes so long to get online. You have three scaling champions. You have like 4 scaling champions. You got Zac, you got Ornn, you got Smolder, you got Jinx. But Fool's 5 also kind of wants to scale. You have Senna.
They do.
I mean, Volibear, Wukong, Cassiopeia, once they get one item, they're like at their kind of at their strongest. They have a much stronger early game, but the later the game goes, the better it is for Jolly Rogers. So it's going to be about mitigating all this early pressure that can come out from this Volibear, from this Wukong. Cassiopeia, it does get outranged by the Smolder, but it's a good pick into Smolder. It's also just a good pick into what Jolly Rogers has drafted. Then Miasma is gonna, like I said, you need something to stop the R2 from Ornn. Awesome, Miasma does that. Petrifying Gaze does that. It can also catch Zac out when he's trying to engage through the air. Smolder on a flap, Rakan on an engage, because when he's battle dancing forward, he is facing you. So I really do like this Cassiopeia R5. I'm just really curious to see how these teams are going to play out these game number 3 drafts here, Beto.
Well, we're going to be getting into our game shortly, Chung, but one thing I want to touch on as well, the Tahm Kench in the center. I am a big fan of Senna Tahm. It's been quite a versed duo back, I think it was like the end of last year or maybe the start of this year when Senna Tahm, Senna Nort was really being played a lot with the fasting center. But the thing is that I thought it would be, and it is, it's farming center, right? One of the biggest things about these tank with center matchups, right, is that the tank gets the farm. So you are very tanky, right? You're able to get, like for Tahm, a Heartsteel on, and you don't have to go these like super cheap like supports items, you know, Locket, Shirelias, that a lot of the supports need to go. Like Rakan here will go something like the Shirelias, most likely will go Locket, and get a ton more value than the Tahm Kench, because Tahm Kench without gold basically turns into this like peel bot. I still do think that Fool's 5 had a decent amount of scaling. Like Cassiopeia once has enough points in, I think it's a Q, right? And obviously, you know, completed the stacks of the tier. You know, if she's going to go Roa, I don't think she will. Wukong, 2-3 items, very strong, has a great time landing onto Smolder and Jinx. But eventually, Jolly Rogers scaling will outscale. Senna obviously does have infinite scaling as well as the Smolder, but if it's farming Senna against Smolder, Smolder will absolutely have more stacks. And outside of Senna having like literally like 300 plus stacks, which is really hard, Smolder will just do more with the stacks than Senna will. But, you know, Ornn, great late game. Tons of gold value getting given to your team. Jinx late game, you know, 5 items, 6 items, Jinx. Pardon me. Very, very strong. A ton of range from Jolly Rogers. I hope like rapid fire cannon from Smolder. And then you've got like a very flexible team comp late game. You've got a ton of range from the, you know, Jinx, from Smolder. You've got a ton of engage from the Zac, Rakan, or a ton of tank. You know, you can really play however you want.
Yeah, and I mean, it's like you said with like the Tahm Kench point, like he's still going to be building Heartsteel in this one. It just feels worse because you're not farming anymore. You're not getting that early gold. So you have to be impactful on the map to get that gold influx. You got to be getting assists or even kills at points. But now we're going to see a gank in the mid lane. Lord JK is going to dodge out from the stretching strikes and be okay. But now a lot of damage is being turned back onto Noodle Daddy. Conqueror stacked up here, but Lord JK, problem with Cassiopeia early in the game is the mana costs are so high, and that's why you normally go with the Doran's Ring start, but Lord JK is choosing to go for the tier start once again to have that bonus mana regen, but also be stacking it up early in this game. So once again, losing out on a bit of damage, but already at 57 stacks on that tier in this point in the game is feeling pretty good up at that point. But I mean, overall, the side of Jolly Rogers, like you said, they're just gonna need to play their game smart, wait their time, let your Smolder get online, make sure Senna doesn't get the 300 souls, because then she just like shoots you from the Nexus and you can't do
Yeah.
anything about it. But there was a gank that was tried to be had there in the bot lane, but doesn't end up being anything for the side of Fools 5. But overall, Reckoning is a little low on mana here, so trying to like get these big hyper aggressive trades with those those Q auto attacks, the rockets, is going to be a lot of not happening. So overall, both teams just farming it out. And Noodle Daddy, because of the early trade, is just going to have to concede some early CS here, TP back, and just get his HP bar back in the right position.
I mean, this Ornn going to be impactful in the late game with these items, obviously. But, I mean, we saw it in the one of the first two games. I can't remember which one it was that I'm thinking of. But we've got 3 losing lanes right now for Jolly Rogers, which, I mean, is going to happen, right? You're against a Volibear on top, ton of sustain. You're against Cassiopeia in mid, and right now Smolder doesn't do enough damage to really, help that lane out. Obviously, does have a good amount of poke, has fleet footwork, and can win the lane, but after that early trade in mid, it's not going to happen. Bot lane, the Tom, the center, winning out there. I mean, CS for Jinx, so that's a, CS lead, but maybe center will catch some of this wave. But in this situation, right, when you've got 3 losing lanes, dragon spawning, the grubs are going to spawn, and the herald. How many dragons and grubs, herald, are you going to be down before you're ready to fight? If you're able to get 1 or 2 dragons, some grubs maybe, you're in a great position to stall the game out, right? Every dragon that Jolly Rogers get this game is time that they have to scale. If Fools 5 are able to get 2 dragons, then again, you're on that 10-minute timer, 10 minutes until Soul. If Jolly Rogers are able to get, 2, you're 20 minutes away from Soul. That's not happening ever. Like, Fools 5 are not getting Soul in that time before Smolder gets online, before Ornn gets online. If you're able to get 1, it's still a great time. You're still feeling fine. It just comes down to what can Jolly Rogers pull out of this early game without losing the game. And that's a really thin knife. It's a thin board, a beam to balance on between finding value and giving yourself a window and completely losing the game.
Yeah, and you talked about the Smolder in the mid lane with the fleet footwork. I'm surprised he didn't go for Grasp, as Detach tries to go for something, but not going to happen. I feel like you could go Grasp in this matchup just because Cassiopeia does have that shorter range, so you can abuse that and get those stacks going and have yourself be like a little bit tankier and a kind of a better trade pattern, but not going to happen. Dragon is being taken here by the side of Fools 5, but Jolly Rogers bot lane could be in a little bit of trouble, but you're a Tom Kench. Your engage is very well known when you're just walking through a lane. You got to come from weird angles or like be hiding in a brush, something like that. But first dragon picked up here by the side of Fools 5. You could want them to see, want them to fight over that second one just to stall out that dragon stacking like you were talking about, so they just can't be getting quickly to that soul point and putting a real threat on this game. But overall, it's just like CS advantages in top lane, which is expected, and in mid lane, which is also expected at this point in the game.
I want to talk quickly about the team fights for these 2 drafts. I've been thinking about it a little bit. Fools 5, don't have any tank damage really at all. Like, I'm assuming that Senna is going to go Black Cleaver. That does help, right? Maybe Wukong goes it. Volibear, obviously, does a lot of damage, can shred through, given enough time. But they've got so much dive, right? Tahm Kench can dive and peel. Wukong is the main proprietor of the dive. Just kind of going from nowhere out of vision, going 2 screens with double dash, flash, knock up onto the Jinx or Smolder, cancelling the dash. Like, it can be very scary. The Volibear can obviously follow as well and facilitate some dives. But Jolly Rogers also have a decent dive, right? Ornn, Zac, if they want to. However, on the dive for Jolly Rogers, they don't have any follow-up, right? You've got enough damage from the Wukong, from the Volibear, and the Tahm Kench. You've also got Senna ult to go through there, and even though Enchanter Senna doesn't exist anymore, it's still a shield, right? It's still healing. Oh, sorry, it's still shield. It's still damage as well, right? So it can participate in the dive. But for Jolly Rogers, I mean, Smolder ult, sure. Jinx ult, maybe. But for the most part, you can't participate in the dive, which then leads me to believe Jolly Roger's team comp is best in a front to back, where you're finding a target and just trying to all in them with Ornn knock up and Ornn alt. Then Rakan kind of becomes a little bit homeless in the team fights because he can, you know, use the quickness, onto the backline to zone. He can try to ult or W on top of the front line to layer the CC, but I can see a world in which Detached tries to go when his team can't follow. And that's a big issue with Rakan sometimes. If Detached tries to send the team fight too early and his team can't follow up, you're in a position where Detached just sacrifices himself for free, basically.
Wait, we have some action up here in the top lane. Ludicrous calls out the Ornn Horn, but it is buffered well by Fifth, and now he's looking for the solo kill. He flashes away, trying to get to his jungler, and he's there, but Fifth flashes forward, and he's going to get the first kill. He might go down, and he ends up doing it. Gets a solo kill for himself, and then goes back in the mid lane, but now in the mid lane, it's going to be the focus onto Wukong here, using the Warrior Trickster to get himself out. The Miasma is used, the ultimate is also used, Petrifying Gaze out of Lord JK. Mom is called down, it does not matter. Everybody lives in the mid lane, but health bars and mana bars are blinking on both sides here in this early action.
Scary in mid for both teams there. I mean, neither wants to lose. That's a crucial kill for either. If Smolder is able to get a kill or two, Reckoning maybe caught out here. Dodges the tongue. I think a good dash after the flash there means that he's going to get out. But yeah, if Smolder is able to get a double kill there, or even one, he's able to stack the wave for free, get a nice base, doesn't need to TP. Now, obviously, he does have to TP, the lane's a lot harder. If Cassiopeia or Wukong's able to get accelerated, the life for Smolder becomes so much harder. Smolder did have to flash, but...
Oh, a nice double knock up there by Concrete because the Tash walked in, and then he brings back the Embrace onto his AD carry. Ignite is down, Concrete picks up the first one, and now he's going to eat up Reckoning on this Jinx, and there is no saving this girl from Zaun. Ends up falling down, 2 kills in the bottom lane, and the Feats of Warfare picked up for the side of Fools 5. And that's just a little bit of the issue with Rakan. You tried to get in there to save your AD carry, and you both end up getting knocked up there, and you bring back the last Embrace there from Senna to root up your AD carry and leave you both out for dry. And like you have the same issue with Braum if it's picked. Like, you get tagged up by that and you try to W back and you root somebody up, and it could be their life
over in
mid
yours. Though, looking for a solo, sorry, 2v1. Noodle Daddy finding a huge kill there. Seacat ganking over, finds the ult as well. Cassiopeia, no flash. Beautiful look. I mean, you're absolutely right with the center. It feels awful, right? You know, Rakan gets tagged. Rakan typically a pretty safe support. Stacking up pretty well there. And center over on the 20 stacks. But slow for both, but we'll get there. Yeah, the center W onto Rakan. Jinx is out if Rakan just sacrifices himself there. But, you know, a bit of survivors, you know, wanting to survive there. Gets himself caught out over in mid, finding a beautiful kill. Dragon to spawn. If Jolly Rogers are able to pick this one up, it's that buffer window that I was talking about.
Concrete is going in, gets a double knockup, and now Foolish is here. Cyclone is already being used. Seacat is the focus right now of all the attention. We see Lord JK is also on his way down here. Gula Quickness is used by Rakan, but it does not matter because you were in the miasma and you were quickly going to fall. And a point I wanted to bring up that you talked about was Rakan in these team fights. The biggest thing about Rakan, if having mastery over this champion, is using that movement capabilities that he has to survive these positions that you don't think he should go in. Like, you W in, get a 5-man taunt in a team fight with the quickness, and then you get escaping with like 10 HP because you have so much mobility on this kit, and that is not what Tats has been doing so far this game. They're trying to focus there on the C-Cap, but he's able to escape his way out of that one. Second Dragon picked up for Fools 5, and now they're looking for more. Reckoning is going to be in a whole lot of trouble. Petrifying Gaze used for the slow, but the Flame Chompers are there for the CC, and now C-Cat dives in, but it does not matter. Super Mega Death Rocket is brought out over top, doesn't get any damage noticeable to bring anybody low, and just everybody trying to walk away from this play, make something happen out of nothing, and nobody ends up going down there.
It feels bad for Jolly Rogers when you're just looking at the screen there, but if you look at the map, Noodle Daddy is just farming for free in mid lane, and that is a massive win condition. Ludicrous, a bit early,
Ludacris is still looking for the 1v1, and he gets it with the Bellows Breath and the proc of the Brittle. But now Reckoning is going to end up falling down in the backside because Concrete got the knockup. He has the ultimate, but he does not need it. Another Tongue Lash is able to pick up that kill, and this Tahm Kench is accelerated 2-0-2. He's going to be quickly onto that Heartsteel, and that is going to be a scary proposition to be able to take down in these team fights because Tahm Kench deceptively hard to kill with those tank stats with that HP stacking that he has.
I mean, bit unfortunate there. If you have a look at some of the timers, and I was watching it, now it looks like, oh man, Reckoning, Detach, both could use their Summoners. No, both Barrier and Heal were like 5 to 10 seconds away from being up. The quickness as well, very close to being up. If any of those are available, I think the Jinx lives there. The center getting a lot of gold, but mostly this Tahm Kench getting the last hits. And in this matchup, center, a lot of the time just ends up being, you know, like a supporty AD carry, which I think is a really cool kind of character. But, you know, needs stacks, pardon me, for the range. Doesn't need as items as much as some of the other AD carries, but Tahm Kench does. Smolder has he's been starting to get these stacks available. Nice dodge there from C-Cap. But one thing that I want to mention here, I haven't had a chance to, Ocean Soul this game. Same as the first game, I believe. Have a look at the enemy team comp here. Volibear, Wukong, Tahm Kench,
no,
center.
Reckoning. Reckoning's tagged up on Knocks Blast. Blue JK flashes forward, uses Petrifying Gaze for the slow, and Reckoning has to use a flash of his own, but now he's in a really bad spot in this Dragon Pit. Wait.
Just base, brother.
Oh, no. They know. It doesn't matter. He's going to fall down to Lord JK because he was running up to the enemy team. And that is another kill on to this Jinx. 0-3 at this point in the game. Not the kind of stat line you want to have as one of these hyper-scaling, hyper-carry AD carries. And now in the top lane,
team's coming.
Bomb comes out on Foolish. Fifth, going to have to use the ultimate of his own. Doesn't get knocked up by that grand entrance. Quickness was not used to CC down this Volibear, and he's able to escape with his life with the use of that Stormbringer.
It's the ult forced, and that is a good thing. Mid tower getting pushed down now by Senna and Tahm Kench here. Concrete and Atreides going to milk this full tower. Jolly Rogers get the Herald, which is a big win here. Fools 5 don't want to let it go for free. They lose the Herald, but they might be looking for the fight after. Miss on the tongue means no kill there. UK here, the Lord JK, sorry, having a great time. Much better than the other time we saw him play with the Roa. I believe it was the Anivia, right? You know, Roa, already 5 stacks, fully stacked on the tier as well. Obviously doesn't need boots on Cassiopeia because unfair challenge, buff Cassiopeia.
She doesn't have feet.
I mean, but Nami builds boots.
No, Nami has feet in one skin when she recalls.
The smaller stacks are coming up, and Senna taking a while. Obviously, it is farming Senna, right? If it was fasting Senna, I believe that like really good stacks was like 100 at 20 minutes. Or, you know, 80 to 120 minutes, considering that it's farming Senna, even after the buffs to it. Not as, obviously not going to be as much. So anywhere around there, you know, if 100 at 20 is great for fasting, you know, maybe 50, 20. Once you get to that 100 stacks, though, that's typically where I see, you know, in the pros who are playing Senna, stop getting more stacks, like a ton of more stacks. They stop, like, actively seeking the stacks. They're happy with the range and the damage at that point. You know, obviously, they're not going to not go for the stacks, but Smolder, obviously, 225 is the number where...
And I think Beto has DC'd ever so slightly again. But to his point, like, the biggest breakpoint in this current Senna iteration is, like, 80 souls is, like, the big stack that you want to get at. But now this next dragon is on the Rift, and the teams are looking to fight over this Rift. Herald is spawned up in the mid lane for the side of Jolly Rogers, and they're looking to make a play happen in this one. We see that Noodle Daddy is riding this one in, but I think that is the mistake, because he's right in the miasma. He's knocked up immediately. The quickness is used here by Detach, but it does not matter because the Petrifying Gaze was even better. And now in the backside, Foolish is getting all the knockups. Mom is used across the team, but it does not matter because they are pushing forward. Is the side of the Fools 5 Vanguard, and they're still looking for even more. A double kill onto Foolish on this one. Every flash used across the board on the side of the Rift, except for Ludacris, who did not even TP to this fight. They get another kill onto Noodle Daddy, another one onto Reckoning, does not matter, but now the Task is looking to go in onto Concrete here. They don't really have a whole lot of damage. Concrete does more to them than they do to him. CCat and the Task trying to fight this one out, as it looks like a trader is looking to walk over to help out his support, and it is a one team fight for Fools 5. Dragon Soul Point acquired for them, and they are putting a timer onto Jolly Rogers' back.
That's rough, too. Sorry about that, DC. Once again, midpoint, I believe I was this time. I don't know what you heard, but I was talking about stacks. I was yapping away. I did get to see that play, though. I did get to see that fight, despite my mic, for some reason, is the only part that you cannot hear. All right, look, I'm gonna be harsh. Don't get in the Herald when enemy team has Cassiopeia. You will die. Don't drive the Herald when entire enemy team is in your face. Why are you jumping in here? I mean, it doesn't even matter. Cassiopeia finds a double stun here. Wukong, again, so much disruption. Volley there, flash into the back. The dive is just too strong. The peel from CCat is quite nice here, but you just can't do that. You can't be that greedy. Noodle, you should be saying to your team as a Smolder player here, guys, don't do anything. We have 5 more minutes until Soul here. It's Ocean Soul. That sucks. I need more time. I'm 1 item. Only finished my boots. I don't have upgraded stacks yet. I need more time. And that's a bit of a problem when you draft this much scaling, right? I think the main issue, what maybe makes this comp slightly better for Jolly Rogers, is a driving jungler. A jungler that is going to push the team forward. Obviously, I'm thinking of like a Xin Zhao, right? That's obviously can't be played. Reckoning in a sandwich right now. I think Chong's mic might have unplugged mid-fight, unfortunately.
Oh my God, I was muted and I was going crazy.
I saw you on the cam going crazy, dude. I thought it was just me. I thought I'd maybe DC'd again. I didn't want to say anything. Unlucky. That sucks, dude. That sucks.
Oh, I'm a noob, chat. I'm so sorry, everybody. But Reckoning gets 2 crucial kills in that team fight, even using the flash forward aggressively trying to go on to this one. They're looking on the 5th, but he's just going to use that Stormbringer to get out. Reckoning, you know, tried his best to get that one. Maybe if he pops the barrier, he could, you know, live that play. But no. Okay, so we see the replay here. They're turning everything onto Concrete. Foolish does a good job to get the back line to save them from CCat. And then see Reckoning gets the first kill onto Lord JK here with the flash. Tries to turn onto Foolish and Atreides. Maybe at this point, if he barriers, it's on cooldown. Doesn't get the kill onto Foolish, but Ludacris picks that one up. You see them try to trace onto Atreides. Ludacris goes for the QE's combo, but doesn't time it correctly. So Atreides is able to escape with his life there.
I mean, just something about this, like, I think this all the time when I see some of these fights in this set so far. You're in a position where you're in the lead, right? Enemy team has Ornn, Smolder, Jinx. Anybody who knows this game would tell you that team comp will scale. At 45 minutes plus, you will lose, right? Most likely. Obviously, it's not that simple. It's not like a rock, paper, scissors thing. But against a team with like even skill, you will lose. Smolder is behind on stacks a lot. He needs a ton more stacks, a lot more time to get online. Ornn now finally upgrading some items. And unfortunately, it's only the Essence Reaver for Smolder built. Maybe you want to wait a little bit more for that. Why are you walking in there? You know, and trying to take that fight in mid. What do you get? Like mid tower, maybe? A kill on Jinx? No, you actually give a kill over to Jinx.
Ludacris goes forward onto Lord JK, but I don't think that's a trade you want to be having at this point. Lord JK does a decent amount of damage because Ludacris is just really built for the 1v1 against Fifth, and that's mostly AD, so he's just going to get shredded by this Cassiopeia. But Reckoning is coming up to assist his top laner. The Horde comes out. They're looking onto Lord JK. He does not have flash. Gets tagged up by the Petrifying Gaze is used, but Ludacris buffered it correctly, and Reckoning is going to get another kill for himself in this play. A nice roam timer, but once again, they are losing the Otacon for this play. They could look for a play mid onto Atreides and Concrete. They already do see Cat has gone in. The Devourer is already used, but into the backside, spit out into the belly of Detach. Charmed up, but it does not matter because they have no damage for this one. Atreides gets to kite this one out. They're still looking for the Sea-Cat. Jumps back in, uses the ultimate. Atreides knocked up once again. The ult of his coming over, and the Super Mega Death Rocket sniped from the face. Reckoning is able to pick that one up. Now Detached and Sea-Cat have to run for their life. Foolish already gets the knockup, but now on the backside, Fifth is there, but he's getting shredded up by Noodle Daddy and by Reckoning. Reckoning gonna get another kill in this one. Sea-Cat still alive, pulls both of them back together. Reckoning is gonna take over this fight. He gets a double kill. This is gonna be the unofficial pentakill if he does pick this one up. If you count the kill in top lane, but Concrete is able to escape, and now Ludacris is here trying to get the kill onto the enemy support for his team. Zap does not connect. Attached link for this one. Grand Entrance does not hit onto him. The Tom Kench is running, but so is the Cassiopeia. She is here and she is ready to fight. But both sides are going to walk away from this one, and that is going to be the crucial dragon picked up for the side of Jolly Rogers here to stop the soul from coming through for Fools.
A shutdown from the Jinx with the Death Rocket there onto the center from base is huge for Jolly Rogers right now. But not only that, you mentioned it, that dragon buys another 5 minutes of time for Jolly Rogers to scale. Look at this rocket. Perfect. Lands on the concrete, shut down onto the Jinx. And the fight looks bad here. Volibear finds onto Noodle Daddy, but no, the smaller Jinx have enough damage to shred through. That's another kill for the Jinx. Moving forward with the Get Excited. Just misses the damage here. The shield is enough to give Concrete his life, but Jolly Rogers find the necessary space. Multiple kills, multiple throws from Fools 5. They are back in the game completely. Ahead in gold even. Or on level 15. He just, like, from this point onwards, every second that you aren't winning as Fools 5 is more time that you're losing. Ornn, every minion he's getting is XP towards level 18, more items for the team. Jinx and Smolder now both have upgraded items. You know, Zac getting upgraded armor is really important. It's more time for Smolder to get stacks. It's more time for Jinx to get more items. You need to be stressed as Fools 5 here.
Yeah, and I mean, another thing to talk about is how long Sea-Cat lived in that fight, in that 2v1 scenario, was able to, you know, stay alive while they dealt with the Volibear, and then Reckoning was able to come in and get those crucial kills. And then, if you want to be, like, nitpicky when you are having an Ornn on your team, is he has to make sure you're ready for your item upgrades, because you can see here in Reckoning's inventory, it's the upgraded Yuntal. You normally want to upgrade IE because the raw stats are just better. So, you know, a small, you know, thing to talk about, but Lord JK actually doesn't really win these trades anymore. Now Concrete is going to have to escape as they were looking for the engage onto him, but now Fifth could be caught out in the jungle here. They hit the first Q onto him. He has to use the Stormbringer, and still gets taunted up by the quickness, and into the backside is Sea-Cat. Reckoning hasn't even opened up fire yet at this point in the fight. He's looking for the angle to do so, but he's worried about the engage that comes out from Foolish. He's looking for it. He gets a Cyclone onto the back. The ult from the center comes over. Reckoning's going to flash away, try to kite this one out, but he's stunned up. He's knocked up. He's CC'd down, and now the team fight is going to be won by the side of Fools 5. A double kill here for the Foolish Wukong, and he's going to be able to die and escape his Sea-Cat, but Ludacris is left stranded. Atreides picks up that one. The Baron was aggroed, so the passive is procced, and Sea-Cat is gonna fall down here. He tries to use the E to get away, but Foolish is on the backside. Fifth is able to be there for the team, and the whole time, Smolder's just bot lane, saying, guys, I'm not there.
He's doing the right play. Honestly, Jolly Rogers, you guys scale. You were just given a golden ticket to the late game. Instead, they take a coin flip team fight around Baron for no reason. Jinx is on 2 items. Smolder is on 2 items. Guys, you need 6. Keep scaling. Keep waiting. Play for the next dragon fight. Or Super Mega Death Rocket. That was close. But now, after taking the fight that you didn't need to take, Fools 5, Baron in their hands. Smolder, as highlighted by our observer, does have completed stacks. But let's take a look at this.
Oh, the TP was canceled by Lord JK with the miasma, and then he's able to get a TP of his own. I mean, Reckoning was waiting for the angle in this team fight.
The fight's done either way.
I mean, he was waiting to open up, and then the time he walks into that chokehold right between Baron and Red Buff was just his demise, because then he's in a spot where Foolish can just get onto him with the Cyclone and able to CC him up. He tried his damnedest, but the team fight that came out from the side of Fools 5 was just better, because their AD carry, yes, they are the Senna take over the team fight, can keep everybody alive for so long, does some unexpected damage as well, and they were just able to do it. But now the big thing is the next team fight is to come. The dragon spawns in 50 seconds. That is where this game is going to be made. Rooted up is Foolish on those Flame Chompers, takes a bit of damage. Ludicrous is split pushing in the top lane. Fifth is there to answer him. Both these top laners have the TP of their own, and this trade benefits Ludicrous at this point just because of the items that he has compared to Fifth. But now you can see the the dragon control is in favor of the side of the Fools. They are looking for the angle to get this engaged. Foolish use the Warrior Trickster to be able to get the Cyclone into the backside. He's looking for Reckoning and Noodle Daddy, but he has to flash out of this one as C-Cat is going for it. But the flanking Ornn is there. He gets a three-man knockup. Mob comes out over top. The quickness is there. They're looking for everything. Cassiopeia is in the belly, so she isn't able to get any damage off. Reckoning trying to fight with Fifth on the backside. Fifth is trying his best to kite this one away from Noodle Daddy Reckoning, but he's going to end up falling down. Atreides and Lord JK are trying their best to trade onto C-Cat. C-Cat rooted up. The double knockup there is from Ludicrous. Atreides gets the kill, and the knockup is there onto the concrete. Tom Kent's going to try to kite this one out the best he can, but Reckoning and Noodle Daddy are online. They are there. They're looking to continue to trade this fight back and forth. Atreides and Lord JK are the only ones alive, but once again, they win the team fight to get the dragon.
Wukong has such a great time against Jinx and Smolder, but you see he misses the engage, forced to flash away after missing that ult. Ludicrous, a ludicrous flank behind, finds ult onto everybody. So much space is being generated by this front line. Rakan, the peel as well. You see how difficult it is to get through this Ornn and this Zac, while Smolder and Jinx deal with the Volley Bear. Another dragon for Jolly Rogers. This is more time that they have Baron for Fools 5. They're not able to get anything out of it. 2 dragons now for Jolly Rogers, 3 items for this Jinx, and soon to be 3 items for this Smolder. They are becoming an issue for Fools 5, who need to close the game out now.
Yeah, Noodle Daddy finally said, guys, I can fight now. I have 225 stacks, and they look for it. And like you said, Ludicrous doesn't even use TP. The flanking Ornn through the enemy jungle hits a crucial 3-man knockup. Reckoning and Noodle Daddy were fighting Fifth in the backside with the help of the Task, while the C-Cat and Ludicrous combo created so much chaos in the backside for Fools 5, where they could not walk forward to assist anybody, and the team fight was won by these hyper-scaling AD carries in the Jinx, in the Smolder. This game is on a nice edge. The gold lead currently in favor of Jolly Rogers, but the Dragons are still in favor of Fools 5. This is a banger game that we were hoping for here, Beto.
Oh, yeah. Center as well at 100 stacks now, in a good position. A lot of range, some decent damage coming through. Cassiopeia still does have 3 items, right? So more to come. So it's not over for Fools 5. Like, they still can take a great team fight. Smolder still only on 2 items. Jinx, you know, building towards that 4th now. It's a difficult game. You need to take a great team fight. You can't have, pardon me, you can't have Foolish on this Wukong missing the engage onto the crucial targets. Their comp will live and die by how this Wukong finds the engage. They can't chew through this front line. The only option is to try to kill the Jinx and the Smolder as fast as possible. Once they're dead, yes, Zac is really tanky. He's got a ton of healing. Yes, Ornn is the same. You've got double Black Cleaver. You know, hopefully this will be some Pan or maybe a Liandry's at some point for this Cassiopeia. There will be enough time then to kill the tanks, the front line from Jolly Rogers. If you cannot land with Volley Bear, with Wukong, with Senna ult, all together onto the backline, if you can't have a good Petrifying Gaze, I'm going to completely forget that happened. And I'm going to...
Ludicrous! That is just ludicrous, honestly. Like,
he's completely out of it from that engage before. He's like, man, I need to do some dumb stuff because that engage was perfect. Questionable. But will it matter? Flash, I mean, 40 seconds on Baron, it will probably matter. That's a pretty big mistake.
Yeah, and oh no, Atreides actually is making a mistake of his own.
Oh
Reckoning's able to
my
pick up
god.
that kill. The Cyclone is already being used, and they're turning their focus on the Foolish. Foolish are going to fall down here, and now they can look to continue on the 5th, but the Blast Cone is there, and able to escape is the Volibear, but now they're looking to push forward, looking to get on to this Tom Kench. Ludacris doesn't have Flash, but he does have the Oran Horn, if he wants to call it. Grand Entrance used to knock up the Tom Kench. Quickness is popped as well. Tom Kench's not going to be able to pop the thick skin. He does, and it does not matter because he's going to fall down. Oran Horn is used, and it is missed. 5th is going to be able to escape with his life, but Jolly Rogers now have the map and they have the Baron in their sights if they feel like they need it.
This tier 2 is going to go down quite easily. Maybe Reckoning goes for that. But once again here, Atreides does this thing. He did it last game as well on Xayah. Why are you here with 2 people in enemy jungle with no vision and no prior? Like, what are you doing? You're giving free kills over to Reckoning once again. I have no idea what the call is here. Let's go ward their jungle. I don't. Why? What for? Baron is up soon. It's up first. Why are you on the other side of the jungle, putting down vision on enemy back camps, walking in the center, no fear? You should have the fear of God in your heart as center of this game, because if you get gone on at all, you melt. Like, Zach will kill you. Jinx kills you in about 2 autos, as we saw. Ludacris caught.
Ludacris actually could be in a little bit of trouble here. Has to use the E to get away. A nice 2-man knock up there out of his support detached, but it does not matter because a lot of damage coming down onto Ludacris. He's trying to kite this one out the best as possible, but he falls down. Concrete is here. The knockup was used. The Cyclone on cooldown now, and the fight can be turned around. They're turning all their damage on the 5th. A nice Mom across 5-man Super Mega Death Rocket gets a lot of damage, but enough space was created thanks to the Miasma. Now Cat's going back in, gets another 2-man knockup. Quickness over top. He's taunted up everybody, but now Foolish is looking to go on the backside. Reckoning flashing away from this one, gets 1 kill. He's looking for more. He's looking for 2. He's looking for 3. He's going for 3. They're going on to Top Catch right now, and it's going to be the 3rd one into Noodle Daddy. And now Atreides has to run for the hills. 5th is already out of this fight, and now with the Baron buff in hand, it looks like Jolly Rogers is going to march down mid lane and end this game off of 1 team fight win before the Dragon Soul is acquired by either team.
A great pick from Ludacris, but then, so on to Ludacris. Fools 5. Well, 2 forward, they want more. No. Jolly Rogers' team fight is great. It's much better. You need to find those 1v1s, the 5v1s if you can. The Smolder has scaled, so has the Jinx. And unfortunately, the early game goes in favor of Fools 5. The late game scaling will come in for Jolly Rogers, and they will take the series 2-1.
Yeah, and they get the final kill on the fountain. Ludacris TP's in for the Oran Horn photo finish. And Jolly Rogers, like you said, win the series 2-1 with the late game scaling team comp.
I mean, they only still had 2 dragons there. They were ages away from their soul. That team comp was still getting stronger, right? They were still going to be more threatening in the late game. If you're going to play against the draft like that, which, I mean, that's fine, right? You can't be giving over angles like that. I think for Fools 5, the biggest thing to take from that game, I mean, it's early in the season, right? At the end of the day, it doesn't matter at all. You need to stop overplaying these random flanks into the jungle of the enemy team, playing way too, Jolly Rogers won a few fights, right? Had some good, shut down some good kills, and then they make a huge mistake where just before Smolder gets his stacks and he gets his TP cancelled, even if the TP goes off, he's probably dead there. Like, it's actually probably better for him that he doesn't go. He gets some gold on himself. Entire enemy team dies, right? If you're Fools 5 there, and you get the Baron. You're in a great position. Like, Jolly Rogers make a huge mistake, and then for some reason, overcommit again, lose the team fight. Like, I feel like if you're Fools 5 and you want to take positive things from this, positive things from this set, you played early games quite well, right? Game 2 early game was great. In fact, you went the entire game, smashed it. Game 1 early game wasn't bad. Some solo kills on top, and the lanes didn't go great. Game 3 early game went pretty well as well. The Wukong was a great look. It was a great pick to center. Tom did well on the bot lane. You were going pretty good over everybody. Late game, mid to late game, the synergy needs to be there. Like, it needs to be more there, because not only is the kind of calls a bit split in here, I didn't really see Volibear Wukong landing onto the same target, which is really what you needed to do. And mostly, There's a ton of like 5-man mid ARAM, let's fight when you don't need to at all. The win con there is get Ocean Soul, get Baron, like force them to fight around Baron after you've gotten Ocean Soul and end the game on that Baron. Like that's how you win that game. Instead, taking these random fights, looking like 2v5 in the jungle. Jolly Rogers need to be careful though of playing a draft like that again. Once more, when you're against a team that isn't going to give you those options, you plainly just lose that game. You get smoked out and lose in 19 minutes. So I think that both teams had some great looks. Again, really good early games from Fools 5. Some really good like catches from Jolly Rogers to see those angles and come back in that game. But yeah, some risky behavior and some lucky plays as well from both teams.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, both teams did look good at moments throughout the series, but Jolly Rogers just the better team at the end of the day, the night, able to get the 2-1 victory here. We're gonna be wrapping up the stream here. Make sure you do come back tomorrow for even more Titan action. I've been Chung Somo. This has been Gebetto. I want to thank all you for watching. I want to thank our production crew for being here through all of this. I hope you all have a great night, and we'll see you all next time.